and welcome to Master Swan Open number 83. Welcome to this lovely loading screen. I am Kuro, and we are here for our monthly Masters tournament for up to 4.7k MMR. And we already have our first game. So without further ado, welcome to Alcyone or Alcyone. There are different versions. And we are looking in the bottom left corner where we have our orange Protoss representing GTA team and coming from Sweden. It is Davelitoss. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the... Look, I call this light blue, okay? Some people call this teal, but I don't think it's green enough to be teal. Anyway, it is the Protoss player from Poland representing Berserker Esports. It's Rombuzz. Or Rombuzz. We still don't know. Oh yeah. Pekareta mentioning the DTs we've seen before in the match. That did happen, and it's definitely not safe for Terrans. That's all I will say. So if you missed that VOD, if you missed the tournament, I was casting SDO later this, earlier this week. Let me quickly see. Okay, everything should be working. Everything is fine. So. We do have Davelitoss with this hatch already on the spot. With this hatch first. It was not denied by the probe of Rombuzz. And yeah, we're starting slow and steady. Stacking up. Predictions are now open in the chat. Oh, I see. I didn't change the preview. It's fine. Okay. Look, current prediction is just TBD. Don't worry about this. I might have changed. I may have forgot to change the title. But anyway, we now have Rombuzz with a Stargate. So I guess similarly to the Ducklings Open, we will be seeing some oracles coming out. Which, you know, are definitely nice versus Zerg, and we will see if Davelitoss is one to make spores, because we've been I casted a lot of Chance in Ducklings Open, and Chance was one to always have spores, always have queens, always be prepared for that harassment coming their way. But we'll see if Davelitoss will be quite as prepared. This is a nice spot to hide the probe as well. Now that the adept is there, the probe is not really that needed, but still. Oh, and we are going for Roach Warren on the side of Davelitoss. And the first spore is out. The first spore is at the natural. There is not one in the main yet, but yeah, there we go. We're getting the second spore as well. Soon TM. So we should be prepared for the Oracle, but should, like, you know, it's not everything. We have the Adept shading in, just checking what the situation is. The first Oracle has popped out, and I assume Rombuzz will try to distract Davelitoss with the Adepts and then fly in. Actually, we have both forces coming from the front. We have the Adepts coming together with the Oracle, and the Queens are well alerted that the Oracle is on the way. And Rombuzz is actually moving back. He's not committing to this harassment. Yeah, we also have spores on the third base. I mean, now Davelitoss is aware that the oracles are a threat. Is this always so dark? I'm seeing things. As the shades this time do dive into the third base, but there are no drones there to harass, so they will be forced out. Now they are shading into the natural. There is one thing there to defend, but still nice position from Rombuzz. And drones will be falling. Only 4, but I mean still 4 drones is nice. I feel like Rombuzz was hoping for a bit more though. Now we have 3 oracles waiting around, so I guess this is the time for the oracles to dive in. 2 oracles would be enough to snipe workers, but you know, 3 can also be pretty good. At the same time, Rombuzz is working on his tech, he is getting Blink, he is getting that Robo Bay. Yeah, and he will be focusing queens with these oracles. Like 3 oracles are not as much afraid of the spores, so if the queens will not be in position, but the queens are in position, the oracles are forced out. Some of them with pretty bad damage as well. I mean, they still provide vision for Rombuzz. Still, the revelation will keep him informed about what is going on in the Zerg bases. And we have Lair on the way for the Zerg. Again, working on the roaches, getting the upgrades, so I assume we can expect a proper roach army very soon. Oracles once again diving in for the natural base and taking 2 drones there. I mean, again, those oracles are pretty damaged, but they regenerated enough shields that they can do these dives. And there will be always the danger on the back of Davelitoss's head. And he is getting Hydra risks. I do wonder if this was always the plan, or maybe he's a bit too annoyed by the oracles, but we will be getting into Roach Hydra, I guess. I mean, I say that, I don't know how many roaches do we have right now. We have only 4 roaches and there's not more being made, so I wonder if... I mean, he's still getting roach speed. Okay, now we're making more roaches. Okay, we are getting roaches, so it will be Roach Hydra, I guess. The Oracle still survives. They always wait for those shields to be recharged. Meanwhile, Rombuzz working on his upgrades, get his +1, getting his charge, getting the thermal lance. We have 2 colossus already out and more on the way, but he is supply blocked. Yeah, Rombuzz is waiting for those pylons because he's not able to make any more colossus. Also, he's taking this gold base out on the map. I mean, this is quite open position, so he has to be careful about protecting it. I mean, even the mineral line does not help. At the same time, it looks like the overlords of Davelitoss have been hunted down, so Davelitoss also is supply block right now. And we're getting Banelings. I guess Banelings are nice for dealing with charge loads, but the thing is we don't see charge loads. Like, it is an option because again Rombuzz did get charge, but we have Stalker Colossus army. Is it just these 2 units? And how is the army of Davelitoss? We have 13 roaches. We have a bunch of Zerglings and the Hydras are only starting to come out, but the Protoss is already here. This 4th base will be forfeit. Drones have been evacuated. And now Davelitoss has to muster up any defense he can. He actually avoids the army, oh, careful. But now it walks right into it and Yeah, again, those are mostly stalkers with the Colossi. There were like few Zealots there, but not much. But I don't think this is quite enough for the Davelitoss to hold this Protoss army. And with that, GG is called. Rombuzz will be taking game number 1. So GG there. Nicely done from Rombuzz. I mean, very interesting army composition. To just go for stalkers. Just stalker Colossus and nothing else. I mean, again, there were like maybe 3 Zealots in that army, but for the most part it was just stalkers. And we have our next map. By the way, again, this is a monthly tournament, so if you are in the ranks, then you can also join this tournament. Okay, okay, hold on, I need to start the lobby. So yeah, again, like this is a monthly tournament, so if you are in the rank of 4.7k or below, then you can also join. Of course, make sure that you have required games. For this specific edition, we have a slightly more lenient requirements because the season just started, but you do need to have a number of games required to play. So keep that in mind. But anyway, we now have our second map, and we are on Oceanborn LE, where in the bottom right corner we have our orange Zerg player representing GTA team. From Sweden, it is Davelitoss. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the teal/light blue Protoss player from Berserker Esports, representing Poland. It's Rombuzz. Also, I kinda like read his name in Polish, kind of. I guess in Polish it would be more like Rombuzz. Maybe. So I do something in between. But maybe it's Rombuzz? Maybe. We don't know. Once again, we have a hatch first from our Zerg player. There is no block from the Protoss. Oh, it's hatch pool gas actually, not hatch gas pool. Interesting. But I mean, the difference is not huge. They are thrown together pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Rombuzz going for the Nexus before core. He sees that Davelitoss is not one to cheese, so he's comfortable to do so. And yeah, we'll see if Rombuzz will once again go for Oracle into Colossus Stalker composition, or maybe if he has something else up his sleeve. Don't forget to hydrate your hydras. Because I do have my big mug over here. And Rombuzz is going for a Robo-Ferris this time. So no Stargate. At least not right now. We'll be going straight into that Robo. And we'll see what the Robo is for. Like, I wonder if it's just like, you know, immortals because of how many roaches. Well, I don't want to say how many, but like because of the roaches that Davelitoss went for. Maybe it's something else entirely. We have a Twilight Conceal up as well, so. Ooh, so this may be something else entirely. This may be more of a drop play. You may get a warp piece and, you know, warping some gateway units across the map. The warp piece is now on the way. We have a bit of a circling aggression at the wall of Rombuzz, but I don't think it should get through. The shield battery has just finished and now this stalker is pretty safe. There is a probe there just in case to make a secondary wall. And it's charged, so I guess we will be dropping charge loads this time. It seems to be the plan of Rombuzz. We are working on the Immortals as well. After stream. It's been pinged in the server. Anyway, let's see how this dropping thing goes. I mean, oh, this is actually interesting. This will be more than a drop. This will be an immortal drop into the charge load warping. So very interesting there. Very strong harassment force, and I don't know if Davelitoss will be ready for this. I mean, he has some links, but he has not scouted the drop. There is this Zergling that may be able to see the warp piece, but it's not obvious. And we don't have any units. We are still working on... I actually think... Okay, Bending Nest will be actually helpful. Unironically, because if there are zealots like this... Yeah, and Davelitoss does see the zealots, so the Bending Nest may be helpful against the zealots, but the question is, can we make those forces in time? Because the Protoss is already at the door, he's already at the third base, and we only have links. Zealots charge in, the Queen will be going down, the drones are evacuated. There were not that many to begin with in this third base, but the base will be going down. Roach Warren is on the way, but it's not finished yet. And we are making first banelings, but I mean, I don't know if they will finish. They are right in the wall, and the Zerglings will try to hold forward. The Queens are joining from behind as well, but there are so many charges hidden. Those two Immortals are packing a punch as well. And with that, GG is called. Rombuzz will be taking this match 2-0. My bad. Yeah, GG to Rombuzz. Really nicely played there. Very solid game, and with that, Rombuzz will be moving on to the quarterfinals. As we are going back to the America server. This was on EU, of course, because we had 2 European players, so that is an option in our tournament. Just so you know, like when the server rules are there for the players, so if 2 European players meet each other in the bracket, then they are allowed to play on the European server, of course. And I guess we have a moment to look at the bracket then. Let us see. Oh, beautiful. There you go. So we have the bracket. We had our series of Rombuzz versus Davelitoss, where Rombuzz did take that 2-0 and is now in the quarterfinals. We also have 2 other players in the quarterfinals. Yakuzaku unfortunately taking a walkover. We did not find Ramzerg, so there will be a walkover on the bottom match. And there's also one other player, but that is because of the seeding. And to be fair, keep in mind that the seeding is random in this tournament, so it is a random chance whoever will be in that next round when there's not enough players to fill the previous one. Who do we have in the bracket today? I mean, we have, as I said, we have F2 Click, we have GeoHen, we have Tortugavil, we have LegolandMan, who I did cast in Ducklings Open just recently. We have Bulochkin, we have Katsperos, who I believe won Ducklings Open? Yeah, Katsperos did win the Ducklings Open that we just casted. And we have Abatur, we have Ballen, there's Captain Fish, there's Troshaland. I do not know who they are. They're a new player in our tournament, so I guess I will find out. Like, we will see what kind of player they are. And we of course have Jaedolph. Again, big shout out to Jaedolph, as he's been a regular viewer on our channel for a while, and he has been helping us with some tools on the stream as well. So for example, the predictions that you can see in the chat are now set up with the help of Jaedolph, as he was able to make some tools for us to make it a bit easier to set those up. And yeah, with that, we will be waiting for our next series to open up, because it looks like all of the players are currently in game. So I guess we'll be taking a short break. Make sure to get some snacks, get something to drink, and we'll be back soon as soon as we have a series open. See you then. And welcome back. Welcome after this short break. We are now loading into Ocean Board, as we are jumping into this mid-series. And we have the first of our players in the top left corner. We have the blue Protoss player representing Platinum Heroes. It is LegolandMan. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the red Protoss player. It is Bulochkin. As I said, we are jumping into this mid-series, as game 1 has already happened, and currently LegolandMan is up 1-0 in this PvP. This is of course a round of 16 match, so now because we finished our series early, we were able to jump into another one. That's why we are mid-series. And none of the quarterfinals matches have started yet, so we have time to jump in to see something else. And we will be getting into this PvP. I already see very interesting walls from our players. I mean, this wall is more standard, right? The pylon is a bit unusual for me, but still it is a double gate wall on the ramp. Meanwhile, Bulochkin opting to just not go for the wall at all. He's snuggling all the buildings with his main nexus. And I mean, both approaches are valid. Both have been seen in games. Just different approaches to the early game. But nonetheless, both players will be starting with that double gate. We have probes scouting on both sides, although I will say the Bulochkin's probe is going a bit off the track. But in the end, it looks like it will make it into the base of LegolandMan. And we have Stoker's Sentry from LegolandMan. His gateways are much faster in use. Meanwhile, Bulochkin... Oh, Bulochkin's actually supply block. That's why we don't see any units coming, because the pylon has only just finished and now we have that Stalker coming out. A second one is queued as well. But the sentry almost was able to get the probe. but not quite. So yeah, the Stoker Sentry, a more defensive style. Meanwhile, Bulochkin going for those 2 Stalkers, but considering that his production was delayed without the pylon, I don't think he will be aggressive with that either. Also, there's a cheeky pylon from LegolandMan right here in the base of Bulochkin, so a bit of scouting done that way, so the pylon was able to see what are the units coming out. And we have the first tech choices from our players, as Bulochkin is going for a Twilight Council, meanwhile LegolandMan is opting for the Robo facility first. So we'll see how both of our players go. I assume LegolandMan will be going for those Immortals. In general, it looks like he wants to play this game defensive. I mean, he did start with the Sentries. With the Stalker Sentry, he now getting the Robo, and yeah, I think he just wants to play more defensive, build up his economy, build up his army, and then maybe make a push. Meanwhile, Bulochkin seems to, I don't want to say aggressive. I mean, he's working on Blink. He has all those Stalkers and Sentries, but he is waiting for his moment. He's not trying to be too aggressive too early. That said, though, we are adding more gates. So we'll see. We will have 4 gates soon enough, and yeah, we'll see if Bulochkin does want to be aggressive in this game. I mean, Blink is not even halfway done yet. He's also scouting his opponent, and he sees the Robo, he sees that Immortal already out. So we will see what our players decide to do in this situation. LegolandMan takes his time to get a 3rd base. I mean, he does not feel in too much of danger, considering he has that Immortal production, and he's also getting his Twilight Council, while Bulochkin is getting the Robo. So, you know, kinda both players may eventually reach the same result, just in a different way. But we will see how that goes. Because that 3rd base will definitely be very nice for LegolandMan, and it does not look like Bulochkin is even thinking about the 3rd right now. But at the same time, if he waits too long, like, I mean, he will be left behind by the economy of LegolandMan, so Bulochkin has to do something, either attack or, you know, work on the economy, but I don't know if that waiting, you know, waiting for that Immortal, waiting for the Blink, I don't know if it's really beneficial to him in the long run. Looks like Bulochkin is building up after all. He is getting a forge, he's working on charge as well. Still no signs of a 3rd base though, no pylon, no workers, no nothing. Which is a little bit concerning, considering that he's not moving out either. LegolandMan has an observer right on top of the army of Bulochkin, so he knows exactly what may be coming. But there is an observer of Bulochkin as well, so, you know, this blue observer may be in a bit of a danger. And now Bulochkin is taking that 3rd base finally, but the 3rd base of LegolandMan is already established, it is being saturated. And LegolandMan also has the time to get his own upgrades, working on that forge, working on that blink, so again, it looks like both of our players will, you know, eventually get to the same point, to the same technology, but in a very different way, and it may pay off for LegolandMan, because that base, having that base that much earlier than your opponent may make a difference in the long run. But now Bulochkin decides this is the time to be aggressive. He has an Immortal, he has a few sentries, he has this Stalker army. Blink has already finished, and it's only just finishing for LegolandMan. But thanks to those observers, LegolandMan is aware of the attack coming. He is positioning his army already. And Bulochkin knows he is walking into a bit of a setup here. So he decides that maybe this is not the best idea to engage right here, and in the end Bulochkin is pushed back. He is going home, so that's a bit painful honestly for Bulochkin, considering that again his third base was much later, but this push force like didn't really do anything across the map, and now LegolandMan is comfortable enough to take a fourth base as well. So Bulochkin has to do something, is to harass his opponent somehow, because LegolandMan is getting away with a lot. He's getting away with a lot of economy, a lot of resources that he's allowed to gather, and it may be very dangerous once his army gets bigger. And now it looks like LegolandMan decides that it's time to see what he can do across the map, and he has a very similar army, also a lot of stalkers, a few sentries, some immortals, but he has many more zealots I feel like than Bulochkin does. Now the armies are engaging. There are a lot of shield batteries here on the high ground, and they are full energy for now, so LegolandMan has to be careful about engaging up this ramp. He has an observer here, so he is aware of the army movement. Charge is about to finish for LegolandMan, which will definitely be helpful in this attack. Oh, but the observer has been spotted and maybe gets sniped. No, looks like it actually escapes. There's only one stalker chasing it. Now LegolandMan sees an opening and goes for it. I don't know if he can do it actually, because still we have so many shield batteries here. And with the defensive warping, LegolandMan is pushed back. At the same time though, there is a warpies on the back in the main base, and the zealots are wreaking havoc on the base of Bulochkin. The workers are going down, and their mineral already did go down, but now the natural mineral line is in danger as well. And the main army is being constantly pushed up in both directions, because they have to defend the natural, but they also have to defend this third base. The shield batteries have been destroyed or unpowered, and now the probes are under attack. The army of LegolandMan is a bit split though, as he is focusing on all the attacks at the same time, so in the end it is getting cleaned up. He does lose quite a few immortals there, and quite unnecessarily, but I mean the damage has already been done. Like almost all of the buildings of Bulochkin are unpowered. In fact, I don't know if he has a single powered gateway right now. We have 6 gateways, and we have how many here? Like, yeah, this is all 6. So there are no powered gateways for Bulochkin. He's not able to make more units. And at the same time we have another attack from LegolandMan on the third base. It will be going down. And now Bulochkin is in a lot of trouble. He has to rebuild that infrastructure. He has to repower all those buildings before he can make any reinforcements. But while all of this is happening, I mean, LegolandMan is comfortably on 4 bases. It's almost saturated now. And Bulochkin has to rebuild a third. Not even like talking about like all the probes that have died in this attack. How many probes have we lost? 33 probes have went down. So yeah, Bulochkin is force all-in. He is going across the map. But I don't know if he can do it. I mean, there are so many Archons in this army now as well. He try his best. He does have 4 Immortals. And I mean, Immortals are pretty good versus this mostly Stalker army. But he has to be very careful about how he plays this engagement. There are Zealots on the back. He may get sandwiched. And now the Stalkers blink forward, and the Immortals of Bulochkin are going down. One by one. Only one of them is left, and then it's just the Gateway army. And I think LegolandMan has enough. He will be pushing forward. He is going across the map. Bulochkin is still trying to fight. He's still trying to find a way to stay in this game, but LegolandMan army is now across the map. He's once again attacking this third base. But the Warpies get sniped. Very nice pick off there for Bulochkin. But the Stalker army cannot quite hold what LegolandMan has here. They will be holding next to the shield batteries, trying to get the best position they can. But our blue Protoss is marching forward. We have another Immortal for Bulochkin. We have the overcharge. But with that, that's it. GG is called. LegolandMan will be taking this series 2-0. GG. Well played from LegolandMan. Again, like, he was able to establish a really good economy, and as we saw, like, he did pay off in the end, because he was able to make a bigger army. He was able to better reinforce, and with that he was able to take the series 2-0 and is now advancing into the quarterfinals. Also, I did not switch the scene again. This is fine. Hashtag this is fine. But let's take the chance to look at our bracket, see how things have been progressing, and we have some results. We have, of course, our series with LegolandMan and Bulochkin, but we also have GeoHen taking down Tortugaville 2-0, and they will now be facing F2 We also have Jaedolph taking Troshaland 2-0, and Jaedolph is now playing Yakuzaku. Now that is a series I would love to cast, even though it is a TVT, which as people might know, I'm a big fan of Kappa. But anyway, like, Jaedolph versus Yakuzaku is definitely a very, very special kind of matchup. Both of them, you know, very well known on this channel for different reasons. But nonetheless, one of them will be going into the semifinals, so at least one of them will be casted on the stream. But we should have a series for us, as well as we now have our quarterfinals match ready of Rombuzz versus LegolandMan. Just making sure things will get set up. Be sure that the players don't leave me behind. Ah, they literally switched the same time I switched. Panic. There you go. We're all here. Oh. Okay. Good. And let's set up our lobby. Okay. It will be another PvP, as is tradition of the EU region. We have Rombuzz versus LegolandMan. our play is just getting ready. On that note, make sure that you have your water ready, you have your snacks. Make sure to stretch. Stretching is important. For the nickname of one of my favorite anime characters. Einwürmer from Fate. See, that's the thing about the name Kuro. This is why I don't use Kuro like as my username. It's such a popular nickname. There are so many characters and people who are called Kuro that it's not unique in any way. Fun fact, my name actually wasn't Kuro originally. Like my nickname wasn't Kuro. It was longer than that, but it did start with a Kuro, and you know, the internet has decided that more than 4 letters is too long. So Kuro it is. But looks like both of our players are now ready. So we will be jumping into this first game of the quarterfinals. Who could possibly leave Crew behind? Yeah, still. Who could have done that? I wonder. For those who don't know, you should probably check some old Ducklings clips. That's all I'm saying. And welcome to the first of our quarterfinals series, as we are now loading into Oceanborn Ellie. And in the top left corner of the map we have our light blue Protoss, or teal Protoss, I mean look. Representing Berserker, Esports and Poland, it is Rombuzz. And across the map his opponent, it is the red Protoss player from Platinum Heroes, representing himself, as well as his country Israel. It is LegolandMan. And again, I do not expect anything out of ordinary. I expect, you know, regular standard builds from both of our Protoss players. Also, unfortunately for Steel Mode, the probes will not be booping. The paths are very different on Oceanborn. LegolandMan sounds like the Danish version of Florida Man. I guess? Question mark? I guess you could say that. I feel like Danish people have enough Florida mans. What? Florida men? Look, English is hard. I keep saying that, but English does not make sense. It has never made sense. There you go. As Rombuzz once again is being quite annoying, you know? Just poking at that pylon to annoy his opponent a little bit. I mean, it's very unlikely that the probe does take that pylon down, but at least you will get the notification that it's constantly being under attack. I'm glad Steelmod had the clip just ready and prepared. No, I didn't do the predictions. I knew I was forgetting something. Well, next series. Next series we'll get there. I'm still shaking my head on myself. I had the predictions ready and everything, and then I just didn't press the button. It's just what it is. As that the scouting pro of Rombuzz will finally be going down to the sentry. And both our players starting defensive, both our players starting with that Stalker sentry, so they will be able to send scouts across the map, send those hallucinated phoenixes, as Rombuzz does right now. And we have our first tech choices. Rombuzz going for a Twilight Council first. We still don't have a decision from LegolandMan. We still don't have the tech. But it will be a Twilight Council as well, and Rombuzz is following up his Twilight Council with a Robo and Blink, so yeah, we will. I think like Blink attacks are not really a thing in PvP, are they? Like Blink all-ins. Yeah, I think he will just stay defensive, honestly. At least until he amasses a bigger army. Oh my god, still. And once again, just like in the series versus wait, who was it? Wait, my memory is already blanking out. This is awful. Versus Bulochkin, there you go. LegolandMan does take that third base much earlier than his opponent. Which, I mean, which again may pay off in the long run, but we'll see what Rombuzz does about it, because he may be more aggressive, but I don't know, it looks like he will be taking a third of his own, so it won't be that much far. Like, it won't be that far behind the one of LegolandMan. You remember it ever said it to become too predictable? Ah! Ha! Ha! Ah! See, Steelmold, when you're not here, we have Iceland, okay? Like, Iceland has replaced your position. Anyway, Rombuzz tries to be a bit more aggressive across the map, but LegolandMan has more than enough defenses. Of course, the micro has to be on point because we have Blink Stalkers on both sides. Although, as I said, LegolandMan's Blink is not ready quite yet. It's only now finishing. There's a very nice position on that observer from Rombuzz as well, giving him some nice vision about what LegolandMan is doing and how he's repositioning his forces. But yeah, I don't think Rombuzz can really attack into this. I mean, he will try to poke and maybe snipe a unit or two, but he no longer has enough of an army to stand a chance against this. Rombuzz still trying to, you know, to poke a bit at LegolandMan. I mean, it has the advantage of one, like it forces LegolandMan to be constantly, you know, high alert, constantly checking if his base is not under attack. But it also gives Rombuzz the information about how much army LegolandMan has, about where it is, when is it gonna move out, and you know, information is always nice to have in a matchup. In any matchup, really. It looks like for the time being, both our players are just taking up. They're working on their charge. Once again, the upgrades of Rombuzz are slightly faster than those of LegolandMan, but at the same time, his +1 is nowhere to be found, where LegolandMan's is already almost finished, so LegolandMan will have that advantage on his side, and Rombuzz is attacking as LegolandMan is taking the 4th base, so that's a little bit of a scary moment for LegolandMan. He also has no Immortals on his side, it's just Gateway Army. Actually, I don't think... No, he has a Robo, he just has not made any Immortals yet. Force Fields chop some of the Stalkers, but with the Blink, most of them are able to escape. But now LegolandMan is away, he's aware of the threat. The Chargers are running in. The Zealots will be blinking back, but there's still an army behind this. And those 3 Immortals definitely pack a punch, and A lot of Stalkers will be going down, but we'll see if it's enough to push back Rombuzz. I mean, shield batteries do help, but they are out of energy, and there's still more reinforcement from our blue Protoss. The Zealots are trying to their best. Now the probes are forced off the line. The LegolandMan tries to blink on top of the Immortals, but he's not. He barely gets one of them, but there's still two more. The probes are trying to chase them down, but I don't think that will quite work out. Legoland's army is going down, and GG is called. Rombuzz will be taking game number 1. GG to Rombuzz. Very, very solid play there. I mean, his like third base was slightly before, like slightly later than LegolandMan's, which is what did win in the previous game. But in this one, like the difference was not that big, and Rombuzz was able to build up a better army instead. He focused on that Immortals, and he did use that power to go straight against his opponent to go across the map. Yeah, I don't know why LegolandMan didn't have his Immortals of his own, honestly. I feel like that's maybe a bit of an oversight there. Or maybe he was maybe he was fly blocked or something. Okay, what is going on in the chat? Let me catch up. It looks like Steamon is weaving the legend of my not public pants, apparently. Look, I will not deny that I make some pretty bad jokes, okay? My pants are very bad. But that does not make yours good. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Also, how can I make puns in public when I don't really speak in public all that much? Like, I cast now, but I mean, you can't just make up a pun. Like the pun has to present itself, you know. You just can't force it into being. Although some people do that. Also, yes, I do enjoy saying LegolandMan every other sentence. Fortunately, I'm pretty decent at tongue twisters, so it's good for now. But, you know, as the tournament keeps going, like, my attention span may go down, and it may become increasingly difficult. But anyway, as I forget to switch scene again, we are now in game number 2, and we are on site Delta Eli, where we look at the first of our players in the bottom right corner. It is from Poland, representing Berserker Esports, Rombuzz. And across the map we have our red Protoss player from Israel, representing Platinum Heroes. It is LegolandMan. And I realize that I make these intros way too fast, as now we'll have to wait what our players decide to do. But we do have a difference actually early in the game this time, because Rombuzz goes for that safe build on the top of the main base ramp, but LegolandMan instead decides to go for that ramp in the natural. I mean, it is still a ramp, so it is still fairly safe, but definitely more difficult to wall off. So, you know, we have a little bit of a difference. But we'll see how the difference will play out. Plans are supposed to be bad. Making people die inside when they read them is a sign of approval of your plans. I mean, yes, but they also have time and place, you know. Have to like feel where they belong. Anyway, Rombuzz is blocking the base of LegolandMan, which I assume he will definitely be unhappy about, considering that he likes to expand quite early. At the same time though, Rombuzz has not thrown down the Nexus of his own, so he has to be careful about LegolandMan doing a bit of a revenge on his side of the map. But it does look like LegolandMan wants to do that. He is a bit too focused on dealing with what is happening in his base, and Rombuzz is able to take the Nexus in the natural. Yeah, that is very painful for LegolandMan, as we even have that Cyber Core here as well. And what does LegolandMan decide to do? He goes for an Adept together with Stargate in the wall. I think Rombuzz was able to scout it. Let me double check. He did not see the Stargate. The probe did not go up the ramp. And the Cybercore is about to finish. It's gonna get cancelled? No, okay, the probe will go up the ramp anyway. So we do see that Stargate. Rombuzz is aware, and we have a bit of a proxy from LegolandMan as well. So I do wonder what LegolandMan will do. Like, what is his game plan here? Because he was forced into this very uncomfortable position where normally he seems to be more, you know, of the player that just wants to play a solid game, wants to have solid macro, solid economy, but now he's forced into a more tricky game, you know, he has to put more pressure on his opponent, and I do wonder how he's gonna deal with that. Both Twilight Councils are about to finish around the same time. And we have an Oracle on the way for LegolandMan, and meanwhile this proxy location, this proxy location is for the Twilight Council, so I assume we may see exactly a bit of a hidden Dark Shrine. Which is, again, it's quite common for Protoss players. I do wonder if Rombuzz is thinking about that though, because he did see the Stargate, so I don't know if he will be expecting there to also be a Dark Shrine. That said, he does have a shield battery in the mineral line, but correct me if I'm wrong, does DD one-shot probes? I'm actually not sure about that. Because if they do, then the shield battery won't really change much, but if they don't, like that will pretty much deny the attack unless LegolandMan manages to sneak multiples. Getting a bit of a stasis there. It is not quite in range of the mineral line, so it won't be doing much damage, but still quite annoying to deal with. But again, with the shield battery present, a single Oracle is not able to do much, and now Rombuzz is aware of it, so he will make sure to protect his bases. Ooh, using the Hallucination Phoenix to get the Oracle to move. Very nice micro trick there. Rombuzz is also scouting his opponent, but he does not see much as the tech is not in the base he's looking at. And the first DTs have already been warped in. We do not have any detection, there is no Oracle, the Observer is supply locked. It is being in production, but it will not be able to come out anytime. So now that the probes are going down, the Observer will be unlocked. the probes are actually running away towards the Dark Templar, which is unfortunate. One of them does get force fielded in the main, but the second one is in the natural, and you know, the observer will help Rombuzz snipe it. But 9 probes did go down. Second DT is successfully recalled. Although I don't think that's what LegolandMan hoped for. He did commit to this aggression, but those 2 DTs were not able to get that much. And while all of this was happening, Rombuzz did take a 3rd base as well, so no, definitely not ideal. That said though, LegolandMan does have more workers than Rombuzz does, you know, so as much as the harassment wasn't a game-ending damage, it still may be useful. LegolandMan now able to take a 3rd base of his own. He is adding more gates, and when I say more gates, it's a lot more gates. We have 5 more gates in the main base, some more in the natural. Rombuzz does keep an eye on this, he has a hallucination scout. And Rombuzz is getting Templar archives. The proxy location has also been found out, so there will be no more warpings from LegolandMan. Ooh, the charge may not finish. Just barely, the charge is denied as the building is now unpowered. LegolandMan does cancel it and he is rebuilding that file cancel, but that is a big delay on the research. Rombuzz does not have charge of his own as he's not focusing on Zealots. He did go for Bling instead, but yeah, I mean, LegolandMan does not have a Twilight Council now at all, so his unit choices are a bit limited. Rombuzz now opening this path of attack. He will try to pressure the 3rd base of LegolandMan. I don't think he can quite break this position though, even though those Zealots are slow. Keep it in mind, charge is only barely halfway done. But there are a lot of Stalkers here to support as well. So I don't think Rombuzz can quite go in right now. He does need some support, and he does have some support back at home. He has those Immortals, he has those Archons. So for now he's just poking to see what he can do with this smaller force. He does snipe a few of the new warpings of Zealots. Which again is not a huge deal, but I mean every little bit helps. Rombuzz now getting charge of his own. Yeah, LegolandMan decides this is the time to try and maybe attack. I mean, this is only Gateway Army. We have Zealous, Stalkers and a few leftover units. There is no Robo units here at all. Meanwhile, we have a lot of Archers on the front for Rombuzz. They will be dealing with those Zealots quite quickly. Now the Stalkers blink in to clean up the rest, and yet LegolandMan is pushed back. A lot of the Stalkers are trapped as well, and GG's called. Rombuzz will be taking this series 2-0, advancing to the semi-finals. GG, nicely done there for Rombuzz. Very nicely. A very solid play from Rombuzz there. I mean, LegolandMan also did a pretty good job, but in this time in this series, Rombuzz was a bit more solid, and he will be taking this series. So now we have some time to look at our bracket and see what other updates we have. And as we look at our bracket, what do we have? What do we have? So Abatru has taken down Katsperos, our SDO champion, 2-1. Very nicely done. I mean, Katsperos is a very strong player in his own right, so a nice little achievement there for Abatru. Although I will say I do not know the exact rank of Abatru. Meanwhile, we have Ballen taking down Captain Fish 2-1 as well, so some close series in the lower part of the bracket. And meanwhile, the first quarterfinal match that has been finished is Jaedolph versus Yakuzaku, and Jaedolph is in the semifinals after taking down Yaku 2-0. So we have two of our semifinalists now decided. We have Rombuzz and Jaedolph. The other two semifinalists are still to be found out. So we will have to wait for one of those to be decided. And yeah, I think we may just wait for that. I mean, let me quickly jump to see who is available. Maybe we can get into some other series. But also let me take this time to remind you, or maybe introduce you to this tournament. As a reminder, this is a monthly amateur tournament. This one specifically, Master Swan Open, is for Masters player up to 4.7k MMR. We also have a second monthly tournament, Duckling Open, which is up to Diamond. So Diamond and below. And both of those tournaments are funded thanks to Patreon. We also have a third tournament open to everyone, not restricted by region or rank, which is Sparkling Tuna Cup, which is happening tomorrow. It is every Sunday. And all three of those tournaments are supported with Patreon. So if you like these tournaments, if you would like to see them continue, if you'd like to see them grow, because, you know, the more support we have, the bigger these tournaments can be, the better it can be the prize pool, and the more often we can run this. So if you want to support these events, if you want to support the events that we run, then make sure to check out the Patreon. Patreon is how we fund all of these tournaments. We always post like monthly goals, like how far we went, how much it costs to run these tournaments, how much we got supported by you guys, by OSC as well, because Sparkling Tuna Cup is part of OSC. And yeah, if you have some spare change, consider supporting us there. Of course, you can also support us in other ways. You can be a Twitch subscriber, you can subscribe on Twitch, you can become a member on YouTube. But if neither of these options are available to you, or, you know, just don't feel like doing it, like, watching is also just fine. Like, if you watch our content, that already helps. I mean, the more eyes we can get on these tournaments, the better it can really become, because, you know, the more eyes are on this tournament, the higher are the chances that there will be more people to support them, that there will be more people to play in them, more importantly. So watching our tournaments and like posting them on social media and stuff like that already helps. Like we have social media on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Mastodon, we are on Blue Sky. So if you have an account of any of those social media, you can retweet our posts, you can repost our content, and, you know, maybe share the tournaments that way as well. As I have to get ready for the first of our semifinals. Okay, it will be a PVT. It looks like our players are setting up, so I will take a quick like 2-minute break, so make sure to get some water, get some snacks, and be right here for the semifinals. See you then. And welcome back to Master Swan Open number 83. We are currently in the semifinals. And I have just realized that my casting tool is not working as intended. Hold on. We're gonna refresh this and it will work. There you go. Anyway, as predictions are now open, or I guess they may be closing now because there is a delay on this stream. We are now starting our semi-finals match and we will be loading into Amphion, Ellie. And in the top left corner of Amphion, we have the first of our players. It is the green Terran player from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And across the map we have very bright pink Protoss player from Vietnam. It is Ballen. Maybe Ballen? I guess it's a ball and oh god damn it, English. Yeah, once again, the two players we have not been able to see yet today. And also I will once again mention that Jaedolph is a friend to the channel. He has been working on some tools to help us out. He is the one who made the verified first quacker. Oh my god, my pronunciation. The verified first quacker widget that you can see under our channel that counts, you know, the verified first quackers. He has also made some tools for us related to the predictions to make them a bit easier to handle, as we're also working on the broadcast. And on that note, I will also do a quick shout out to another person who makes tools that we use, who is Pressure. Pressure is the person who has created the casting tool that we use. The intros that you see, the integration with the predictions that Jaedolph was working on is based on casting tool, which, you know, helps us displaying scores, doing the intros, like, you know, doing the stuff related to the general production of a StarCraft 2 stream. So great shout out to Pressure for making that happen and maintaining it for all these years. The chat is having a bit of fun. Also, oh yeah, I saw in the chat people being like, oh, like who is this? Like, is this a new caster? So, long story short, when CranKy Ducklings started way in 2017, it's been years. Don't count. It's been a long time. In 2017, it was originally the Free People that was. I mean, let me rephrase it. The clan was bigger, but it was originally Light, Yakuzaku, and me who set up this channel, who started doing a bit of casting. Back then it was amateur tournaments. In fact, it was Ducklings Open that we just casted earlier this week. It was the Ducklings Open tournaments, and we used to cast the replays of those tournaments. There was no live cast back then. Later on, Steelmo joined in to cast the tournaments live, and that was basically the team. We also had few other casters throughout the years. We had Lumia, we had Quirky. Then later on we had Asher Bro, we had Chase. Like, I don't want to miss anyone, but of course Milk, I cannot forget Milk and Cookies. But like, I don't want to miss anyone, but like, there were several different casters who were more or less regular on our channel. El Padrino, of course, Darking. But you know, as things go, like, life gets busy, people get jobs, people have to finish their studies and so on, and unfortunately a lot of those people are currently a bit too busy to also be StarCraft casters. Jaedolph is escaping just barely with those 2 Reapers. It was very close there, but he manages to do so. So yeah, as for me, I mean I keep saying this. I never was much of a caster. So I was mostly just casting just because, you know, it was just us running the tournament, so we did it. But you know, generally I'm the person behind the scenes of CranKy Ducklings. I'm the one setting up the calendars, setting up the graphics, doing the social media for the most part. So all the stuff that makes the CranKy Ducklings work technically, like on the technical side of things, is usually me. Also Light as well. Light is generally handling the VODs and the likes. But you don't see me on the channel as much as Light. And with that nostalgia trip, it's time to get back to our game. As what were our players up to? I mean, we had those 2 Reapers from Jaedolph doing a bit of chaos, causing a bit of chaos in the base of Ballen, but they have now been dealt with. Ballen is working on an Immortal. We have Blink already. On the side of turn, we have Combat Shields and Steam. And Jaedolph will be trying to move out with this army without any medivacs, just going straight forward. But there are shield batteries, there is overcharge here as well, so he can't quite engage. He just takes down a few stalkers, but he will be forced back for the time being. With that, Jaedolph is going back home. Is just, you know, working on the production. Starboard is now on the way after the... actually, it was started before the 3rd base, but the 3rd base is actually being set up on location, which is, you know, quite adventurous. But at the same time, Ballen is not very aggressive. He's mostly staying at home, staying defensive, taking his own third. Now we have this few stalker going across the map. I mean, the army is right there, so I don't think this 3rd base should be denied, but still, Jaedolph has to keep an eye on that. Yeah, once one of the stalkers goes down to the Marauders, but no damage has been done on the Terran side of things. We have this observer just parking over here, keeping an eye on Jaedolph's army. I'm checking if Jaedolph is spotted. Okay, not right now. Meanwhile, our Protoss player is working on the Colossus now, which, I mean, definitely a good choice when you are facing Bio, although we'll have to be careful because there's a lot of Marauders in that army. And the Colossus can definitely get focused down. Ooh, the Stalkers are running in once again into the 3rd base. But once again, do not get any damage done there. Oh, Jaedolph uses this chance to set a bit of a double drop, but I'm not sure if these stalkers might have spotted it. So a bit of a tricky situation. I don't know if Ballen was looking as the medivacs were passing by. They might have been just on the edge of his vision. And as a result, I don't know if he will be ready for this. There's not much in his base. There is a Colossus, there is an Immortal, but there is no Gateway army. Like he will need to quickly warp something in if he wants to save these bases. Oh, but Jaedolph is going straight into the natural base, maybe even to the main base actually. And there are stalkers there ready. Yeah, the medivacs go down. One of them is still alive, but the Colossus now join in as well, and I think these Marines are trapped here. They will try to do as much damage as they can, and some of the probes will fall down, but yeah, mostly focusing on the army. I don't think it was really worth it for Jaedolph there. At the same time though, it was a distraction. The main army goes for the third base. Colossus are being recalled into the third, but I mean, just naked Colossus won't be able to deal with this. The Immortal goes down, both the Colossus go down, GG's called, and Jaedolph will be taking game number 1. Ah, panic! I alt-tapped too far. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it. It's not like I have to alt-tab through like 10 different windows to get to my score screen. Oh boy. Yeah, GG to Jaedolph. Very nice. I mean, it looked like that drop wasn't really worth it, but in the end, it worked out. It was basically a distraction from the main army, and the main army was able to waltz into the base of Ballen, and you know, and finish the game. Let me take this moment to also remind people that if you're enjoying these games, if you enjoy how our players have been playing today, because they've been showing a pretty nice games for us, pretty nice matches, then there is also another option to support them. You can also support them on Matcherino. All the funds from Matcherino are going to the players, and the oh my god, it's hard to read and speak at the same time. All the funds from Matcherino go to the players, but keep in mind that Matcherino is for supporting this specific edition, so all the funds for Master Swan Open number 83 specifically. If you want to support the whole series, again, Patreon is the option there, but if you want to specifically support this single tournament, you can donate to the Matcherino, and it will be given to the players. We are setting up the lobby. Steve is trying to post the command in chat, but stick. We have more advanced tools for that now. We have the buttons. Do you understand? I know that nobody is excited as me about having buttons to press, but I love my buttons. Okay. I have set up a bunch of buttons for commands, for predictions and the likes. Don't understand. But anyway, we are now in game number 2 of this semifinals, and we are on Golden Aura Ellie. In the top left corner, we have the first of our players. It is the green Terran player from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And across the map it is his opponent. It is the pink Protoss player from Vietnam. It is Ballen. Setting up that wall on the Reaper ramp. I mean, the Reapers of Jaedolph were definitely quite annoying to him in the last game. Just jumping straight into the base. Somebody in chat is asking on YouTube, who is your favorite caster? And I mean, I would have to say it is Light VIP, of course. Who else? Yeah, it is a funny question to answer, definitely. But yeah, for those who are not aware, oh, CSV is getting a bit low. For those who are not aware, we are now also streaming on YouTube. We have been dual streaming ever since that has been allowed. So if you prefer to watch on YouTube, then feel free to watch there as well. But both platforms are available. We have our Twitch, we have our YouTube. Twitch is of course still the main streaming channel, but I mean, YouTube now is an option. This probe is being really annoying, really harassing the workers there, and actually make it to the SCV, yeah. One of the SCVs is going down. So, small victories for Ballen. What is going on with GameHeart? What is going on? What is going on? GameHeart, please. It's just an adept. It's okay, Stick. You can be here. You can be a mod. You can answer people's questions and you can make puns. It's okay, Stick. Wait. Yeah, we want you in the chat, Stick. Okay. Is it just me or really is this pink like really pink? It's like really flashing. I don't know if it's a skin that makes it so. But yeah, I don't know. This is just more pink than usual. I'm caught off guard by the pinkness of this Protoss. The Reapers have been scouting the entire map very diligently, making sure there is no hidden tech anywhere. And there is a Reaper wall, so they are not able to jump in. And the Adepts will be protecting the main entrance as well. Meanwhile, we have an observer from Ballen going straight into the base of Jaedolph. Just keeping an eye on what's being produced. Great, now we have 2 chats to forget to read while streaming. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm here in the shadows.
Look. Stick, you think 2 chats are bad? We are considering more channels, okay? Just saying. It's not decided, but we are seeing how things go. Just saying. I do find it quite funny. But anyway, Jaedolph is now moving out. Those 2 Vikings are going forward. We have to be a bit careful about them, but now the tanks are sieged then. Yeah, one of the Stalkers gets completely obliterated. That was brutal. We even land the Vikings. I mean, again, Vikings are not that bad against Stalkers, I guess. I actually don't know who wins in a 1-to-1 fight. Oh, even setting up bunkers, like Jaedolph really setting up this siege over here, and Ballen has to do something about this, and he has to do it fast, but he does not stop the bunkers from building. Curse of the Viking does fall down. The other one is a bit confused. The shield by the overcharge does save the immortal, but it is very low on health. Curse of the bunkers does finish. But we only have one tank here. Two of the tanks have been sniped. And with 3 immortals on the side of the Protoss, I mean, this siege will be broken. There's not that much units left anymore to put in those bunkers, and even though Jaedolph was setting up quite nicely, like, he lost a bit too much to keep this going. And just like that, GG is called. Ballen will be tying up the series 1-1. So GG there for Ballen. It will not be a one-sided series, we do have a 1-1. And we will be going into game number 3. Double the duck? Yes, double the duck. We do have the duck emotes on YouTube as well, that is true. We can double the duck. Yeah, Chad, I'm not crazy. It is more pink than usual. Like, it's just like bright pink, like, you know, like candy bright pink. I don't think it's usually like this. I don't know if it is skin or if it's some other, like, I don't know. But it did catch me off guard. I didn't expect it to be quite this flashy. Stick, I am not playing Factorio, okay? It's not happening. Because I'm scared. I'm scared that I would get too obsessed. I would start making spreadsheets and you know it. Stick has been trying to convince me to play Factorio for months. But I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, yes. Let me also. Okay, I'm also ready. Sometimes the players do wait for me to say I'm ready as well, if I'm not the one hosting the lobby. But we are now ready to go to game number 3. Because everybody, don't forget to stretch. Get ready for the game. As we are now on Oceanborn LE, and in the bottom right corner we have the first of our players. It is the green Terran from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And across the map we have the pink Protoss player, the pinkiest Protoss player we have seen in a long while. It is from Vietnam, Ballen. Like, even those probes are so shiny. What happened? What is going on? I am losing it. Once again, Ballen making sure that the Reaper Cliff is walled off. Meanwhile, Jaedolph not going for anything cheeky, not yet anyway. feel like we will once again have a pretty solid game from those two players. Oh, the RNG is too good. The SCV does sneak away in the wall. Oh, the other SCV is a little less lucky, but does manage to get away, and the probe is not able to harass the workers quite. Trying though, still trying. Yeah, the full world there from Jaedolph prevents the workers from being harassed farther. But that probe is staying around, and I wonder if this is just for scouting or if Ballen is actually planning something tricky. He is expanding back at home. Look! Look! I think it's a skin. I think it's the skin. I think it may be... Is it Ihanri? I don't know, but I think it's the skin that it makes this happen. Oh, the Reaper of Jaedolph actually stays at home and is able to deal with the probe. The second Reaper comes back as well, so they will be protecting this natural base. And what is Jaedolph's plan from here on out? Let's see, he is going for the starport first. Oh, as the adept is able to pass through without being noticed, but actually no, actually the shade was cancelled. Nonetheless, the Hellion and Reapers will get in and they go straight for the main base. The probes line up, but they're not in range of the Hellion. Oh, but now they are all bunched up. The Hellion does go down though, so there will be no more damage done, and only these Reapers can snipe a few probes. But looks like with the one Reaper gone, like not much else is there to be done for Jaedolph. Two probes will fall, this third one maybe not really. I mean, just one Reaper alone is not enough to snipe those workers, and with that I think this harassment is over. The Reaper is really trying to run for his life, but with the Reaper wall, it is being stuck in base. I think that shade of pink is called Angry Adjusting. Look. It's just so different from the other buildings. Look, like all of them are golden, and then this one is just pink. It's just full pink. I think it's the Ihanri skin. Maybe wrong. I rarely see Ihanri in pink. But I think that was the one that was the most colored. Ooh, the adept goes right into the main base of Jaedolph though. Jaedolph not quite paying attention to that wall. Fortunately, like, this adept is not able to do too much damage to the SCVs, but at least it scouts the entire base, and now joining with the other adept, they are actually able to take down some workers in the natural base. So the pink is a skin condition. Ah! Oh no, the Pan Masters are joining together in the chat. The Pan-apocalypse has come. Oh no. We have a Robo-Babe from Ballen, so I assume we will have some Colossus soon, but for the time being he is moving out with the Stalkers. At the same time, ooh, Raven harassment across the map. This turret does take down 3 probes, which is quite a lot, and you know, more importantly than that, like it is messing up with the gas mining, so Ballen has to pay attention, has to resaturate his gases, and that's always quite annoying. Jaedolph is alerted to the Protoss moving out, but he's not quite seeing that observer, and there will be definitely a blink into the base. Oh, he's waiting. We have blink, right? Yes, we do have blink. I was like, did he forget blink? And the Stalkers do move into the main base. The army of Jaedolph is not in position. They are moving in now, but the Stalkers should be able to escape. Oh, the siege tanks are a bit of a juicy target, but I don't think Ballen quite wants to dive on that. At the same time, we have another turret being thrown across the map, so both players taking some losses. Those are not big losses though, like it's only like sniping a few units here and there, like a few workers on each side, so those are not huge losses on either side. But it is definitely some annoyance to be dealt with. But we have Widow Mines from Jaedolph. 4 probes it's not a lot, but it's also pretty successful. Could be better, but could also be way worse. It looked a little bit scary for a moment, where it looked like the probes will bunch up, but they were not quite in range of the Widow Mines. Ballen sits comfortably on those three bases, completely saturated now. Meanwhile, Jaedolph is only about to set up his third. The CC is not quite finished yet. Now Terran decides to push out to give himself a bit of peace on his side of the map, you know, because the Protoss will be busy with his attack. Widow Mines dive in once again, and this time taking down 6 probes, which is way more successful. At the same time, we have the main attack coming in. The first Colossus is being focused down despite the battery overcharge. It does go down. The second one is being focused as well, and both of the Colossus go down. There is no more Colossus on the map. The reinforcements are not here. Ballen was not prepared for this attack, and he is out of position. The third base has been forfeit. And with that, GG's called. Jaedolph will be taking game number 3 and will be advancing to the finals of Master Swan Open. So GG, well played for Jaedolph, as he will be taking that victory. Let me quickly update that. And he will be the first of our finalists in our tournament, in our monthly Master Swan Open. And here we have a chance to take a quick look at the bracket. So we had Jaedolph taking down Ballen 2-1, and at the same time we now have results for our other matches to see who is in our other semifinals, and we have Rombuzz, and now we have the opponent Rombuzz as well, who will be GeoHen. So the other semifinals is ready for us as well. I do have to check if our players are available. Let me Poorly, the pro is poorly because I mean, yeah, that was pretty brutal. We are now setting up for our second semi-finals, and actually I will take this chance to take a little break to get some water. No? And we will set up our other semi-finals. Oh, actually the players are here, so maybe we can start sooner than that. And we are back with the second of our semi-finals. Hold on. Predictions. There you go. We are in the second of our semi-finals, and we are once again on Amphion Ellie, where we look at the first of our players in the bottom left corner. It is the Polish player in the blue, or teal, or light blue. From Berserker Esports, it is Rombuzz. And at the top side of the map we have our red Zerg player from Platinum Heroes. Oh no. Oh no, my brain has been conditioned to read PH as Platinum Heroes. Oh no. He's not in fact from Platinum Heroes, not yet anyway. He's from Philippines instead. And representing Clan Anito, it is GeoHen. Oh my. Oh no, it's in my brain. PH is forever Platinum Heroes now. I mean, we do get a lot of Platinum Heroes players, don't get me wrong, but... Yep. Anyway, GeoHen going for the hatch first. 16 hatch, I believe. Hey, wrong. So, the probe was not able to deny it. And from that we have go for that gas pool. Meanwhile, Rombuzz setting up on the lower ramp. Getting a bit of a wall going. Also very early mining out this wall. So Rombuzz is planning something tricky over here. It is also important to keep in mind that the overlord of Rombuzz is already across the map, and it will in fact go to... Ooh, or maybe not. It looked like GeoHen was about to scout if that wall was in fact open, but the overlord didn't quite go there. So for now, GeoHen is not aware of this mineral wall missing, and we are setting up some proxy. So this is a very map specific build there from Rombuzz. And we'll see how we do the proxy. I don't know if I've seen Rombuzz proxy before. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of more stable macro games, but this time we will be getting a bit cheeky. And this of course is Stargate. So GeoHen has some air protos going. And there are no spores yet. Of course it is still quite early. But I mean, whatever is coming out of the Stargate will also... Oh no. Oh no, it's double Stargate. Oh no, we're fully sending it. The Overlord, of course, has moved and has now seen that this wall has been mined out, so I feel like GeoHen is aware that something fishy is going on. He doesn't quite know what, though. And with 2 Stargates, we will be getting quite committed here. Lynx are going across the map to test that wall. The wall is not finished, it is wide open. So the Zergling will be able to get in to see what is going on around here, but I don't know if that will really help. Because what is really going on is going on across the map, as we have 2 Stargates and a fleet beacon. We are fully sending it. This is one crazy build there from Rombuzz. As I said, he mostly plays like very, you know, standard, you know, solid. And now we're just fully sending it. Steelmode, are you in the chat? Because we are having a proxy tempest. For those who don't know, because I know a lot of our viewers have also joined the scene itself, or you know, the more how do I put it, non-premier scene, the more grassroots scene a bit later. There used to be an organization called the Proxy Tempest, and they were holding regular tournaments both for amateurs and professionals. Kinda like us, so they were a bit of a similar organization. And yeah, and Proxy Tempest was the name. Steelmode was actually casting some of the tournaments with the Proxy Tempest crew. And this is exactly what we have. We have a Proxy Tempest. With the shield batteries, of course. I mean, GeoHen has scouted it with his Overlord, but I don't know, it might have been too late. He has a lot of queens, which will definitely help. And to be fair, Tempests are not the most harassment-heavy units, you know? But they are annoying to deal with, definitely. Burrow is finishing. I was waiting to see if this is maybe a mistake, but no, it looks like GeoHen wants to go for the Burrow. Maybe to save the drones from the Tempest. Maybe for some micro, but at the same time, oh, it looks like the Lynx actually did get into the base through that wall, and GeoHen will be retaliating with a lot of probe damage. I mean, looks like most of the middle line will be going down, 24 workers down, and I mean the probes themselves had to defend it. There is almost no workers in the natural. I mean, there are barely any units to begin with, so yeah, that is really painful to Rombuzz. He barely has any resources, so he cannot really continue production here, and that buys GeoHen a lot of time. Oh, that burrow is now being utilized on the queens. Very nice play there from GeoHen. We have a lot of more spores now. Of course, they are not in range of the Tempest. The queens are quite low on the energy. They don't quite have the transfusers ready. So the burrow micro is what is saving them from this Tempest, but not for long. And I mean, the Tempests are moving forward. They are buying ground. But there are yet more links in the base of Rombuzz, so his base is completely forfeit. He is completely all in. I mean, we have one adept, but I don't think one adept can fight all these Zerglings, and more links are looking for that proxy now. Azu, wake up! Yes, Azu. First Lady Azu is one of the casters of Proxy Tempest, one of the admins there as well. Very important figure for the Proxy Tempest. The queens are still trying to fight the Skytos army, but more and more of them are falling down. There are reinforcements though, and they did take one of these Tempests. We also have Corruptors on the way now, so that should definitely help in the defense. And as a reminder, like, Rombuzz has nothing to go back to. Like, he has no economy back at home, barely has any probes left. Sure, he has one mineral line, but he has suffered a lot of losses, and I mean, GeoHen is still mining comfortably on 3 bases. Now the Corruptors are here. They will be focusing the Tempest first, but they have to be careful about these shield batteries. Zerglings are trying to see what they can do, but again, these shield batteries are helping this army so much, so GeoHen cannot commit to this too much. The Overlord probably should run away as GeoHen doesn't want to get supply block. At the same time, he is sending yet more links across the map, so there will be more damage. And sure, there are Zealots now in the wall, which will help to protect these bases, but I mean, the energy on the shield battery will run out eventually, and then all these Zerglings will be let in. And despite the shield batteries are starting to run out of energy and the Voyages are starting to get low, but there are reinforcements there as well. The Zerglings are now trying to find a different pathway to get to the proxy location and maybe, you know, attack it from the back. Oh. I think Rombuzz is moving. He's changing his base location. Corruptors are once again diving in. The shield batteries are out of energy, so they are not able to help, but the Corruptors are also falling. The transfuses are there to help them, but you know, there's not a lot of units to fight. But once again, as all of this is happening, you have to remember, once again, Lynx find a way into the bases of Rombuzz, so they destroy these rocks and they go through those mineral line that was mined out. And with that, GG is called. GeoHen will be taking game number 1. Asi, wake up! Asi. Oh yeah, nicely done there from GeoHen. He did hold back. He did hold this aggression from Rombuzz, and I mean the important part is that, well, it was definitely tricky to deal with all these Tempests because of their range and so on. The important part is that GeoHen's bases themselves were not really harassed. Like, he mounted his defense on the front, he had those queens, he had those spurs, but the bases themselves were not in danger. He was even able to expand, and he was on 4 bases in the end, while at the same time he was constantly sending those link groundbys across the map. And yeah, just very confident defense from GeoHen there. He did not panic, just set up his defense and he was able to hold it. We are currently setting up the lobby. Okay, I'm curious, who in the chat actually remembers Proxy Tempest as the organization? I'm curious. Curious how many people in the chat were actually here back when Proxy Tempest was a thing. Okay. See one in the chat, and this case is why we don't see Proxy Tempest very often. I mean, true. That is exactly why. Like, Proxy Tempest is not the most effective build. It can work, but it's definitely very hard to pull off. we are just having some technical difficulties with creating the lobbies. But it should be back soon. No. The usual, the lobby bug is still there for some players. It happens. Yes, I just realized that the casting tool doesn't seem to be refreshed. Hold on. There you go. I saw it, Gamma. I saw the Tempest at its prime. Oh, I see still. Simot, our resident old man of the clan. He was there. He was there when Proxy Tempest was created. Back in the old ages. Not many remember the time. But he was there when it happened. Okay, we actually managed to make a lobby. Let's go. And with that, we should be about ready. Let's double check. Okay, it looks like we are ready, so we will be going into game number 2. And we are now loading into Alcyone / Alcyone alley. Where in the bottom right corner, sorry, bottom left corner, my bad, we have the first of our player. It is the blue Zerg player from Philippines representing Anito. It is GeoHen. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the teal / light blue Protoss player from Poland, representing Berserker Esports. It's Rombuzz. Well, this time Rombuzz decides to make... Rombuzz once again decides to make this wall on the bottom. At the front. GeoHen once again going for that hatch burst. 16 hatch, I believe. It is not being blocked by the Protoss. And then we go for gas and pool. seeing what is happening across the map, goes for that Nexus before Cybercore. He knows that he is safe for any early attacks. From enemy attacks. And yeah, once again, popular players will be bunkering up. I mean, we did get the cheeky game from Rombuzz last time, but I believe it was very map specific, and now we will be getting a bit more of the usual stuff. I assume that we still may get a Stargate potentially for some oracles, but it will definitely not be as crazy as last game. Indeed, we do have that Stargate in the main base of Rombuzz. So oracles are probably to come. We will see how GeoHen responds to them, because I mean, I don't know if he was putting down spores like before he scouted the proxy. So we will see if he's ready. Ooh, unfortunately, it looks like we are having some lag, which is unfortunate. GeoHen was having trouble early on with the lobby, so it's possible that his internet is not quite stable today and he is struggling a little bit. So as soon as we're able, I will pause the game to make sure that everyone is okay. We will try our best to continue this series. I mean, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Like, things out of our hands do happen every now and then, but we'll try our best to give the player a fair chance. Of course, we have an option to recover from replay, so it looks like GeoHen is having a bit of connectivity issues, so we will go on a short break, and hopefully after this break we will be able to continue our series, so stay tuned. And we are back. We have found GeoHen. He has reconnected. Hopefully his internet can hold. We are trying our best. We are crossing our fingers, and we will be recovering this game. Iceland, it's Kuro singing the space opera thing. I cannot sing that well, but I can sing. That's all I will say. Maybe one day people can convince me to sing in public, but the day has not yet come. We'll see. I have been considering it because I like in the past I have worked on some parodies, so I have considered it. But we are back. Hopefully the internet does hold. And we can return to the game. As I did start the game a little bit before. That's usually how it happens, because the lag generally happens a bit before the player disconnects, so it's usually good to rewind a few seconds. And we do see GeoHen getting those spores, so he will be decently safe from the oracles. Of course, if there are like 2 oracles, for example, like that will not be quite as easy. The Zerglings are getting into the base of Rombuzz though, and we'll be able to see that Stargate producing, see that those oracles that are being hidden here. The things themselves are being dealt with, but they did their job. They scouted the Protoss, they see what's coming. And again, those oracles were just for harassment, as Rombuzz is now switching to Wild Council, but I say that there's a 3rd oracle coming on as well, although it is currently supply block. But that will be just a harassment force meanwhile. We have that ground army coming up soon. Rombuzz of course doesn't know that this base is well protected, there are queens, there are spores. He tries to get a few drones regardless, and he does get 3, which is very nice, considering how split second this was. But he shouldn't be able to get much more. The follow-up for Rombuzz is Blink, so we will be seeing Stalkers on the way. Ooh, but the Zerglings run straight into the natural base. The wall is not a wall. And the links are straight into the mineral. Of course, there's not enough of them to do any serious damage, but the fact that they were able to get in time and again is not great for Rombuzz. And I mean, GeoHen should be pretty happy about all the scouting information that he can get. The Oracles are still trying to dive into the 3rd base, but it is still quite protected. Oh, a bit of a misfocus there, and one of the Oracles does go down. I mean, 2 drones die as well, but not quite what the Rombuzz was hoping for. He does see this base being taken though, but GeoHen is actually double expanding. GeoHen is being very... How do you call this? What do you call someone who's economically aggressive? Like... But anyway, we'll see about that, because now the Adepts are in the natural base of GeoHen and they are dealing damage to the drones. 5 drones have gone down, 6 total, but so do the Adepts, so that is the end of that harassment. There are still 2 Oracles, the 3rd one has joined after the 1st one was killed. And we'll see what I can do. We have a lot of gateways on the way. We have a Robo Bay as well. Double Robo production. And yet more links are coming towards the bases of Rombuzz. This time the natural is well protected. The 3rd is a bit more open, but there are some forces there to keep an eye. Hydra then now on the way. I don't know how well Hydras will do it versus the ground army, but it's very possible that those Hydras are just to transition into lurkers. Zerglings try to slip in, but the Stalkers are right there to stop them. Rombuzz now free to take his 4th base. Rombuzz working on double production, double Robo Colossus, which I mean definitely will help against the squishy Zerg units. The Overseer is instantly sniped. The other one is being chased away as well. Oh, we still have some small lags. I hope GeoHen does not disconnect again. GeoHen has pretty much taken half of the map, maybe not half, maybe a third of the map. And he's sitting comfortably on those 5 bases. 6 bases? No, sorry, 5 bases. This is not a base. This is definitely not a base. Those are queens. Yeah. This Protoss army is now marching in. The Hydras are here to defend, but Hydras are not quite what you want against the Colossus. At least not in these numbers. They try to force this army away. The Zerglings are trying to help as well. They almost catch a Colossus, but there is a War Priest to save it. The Queens are trying to push this army away, and one of the Colossus is being focused, but it does survive for now. The Zerglings from the back though do catch it. And Rombuzz is forced to recall back. GeoHen actually was able to make to queue the reinforcements just in time. He got just enough Hydras, just enough Zerglings. And yeah, he was able to mount a defense. Very clutch defense there from GeoHen. It looked very scary, but he had just enough. An economically aggressive Zerg is called a Capitaling. Thank you, still want. Thank you. It's both ice down and still more than cheating each other. Lovely. That's what this chat was missing. We have a disruptor shot. It does catch a lot of the Lynx and a few Hydras. But at the same time, this was a bit of a distraction as there's another army at the door of the natural base. But there's so many cells. Ooh, a great disruptor shot as well, taking down a lot of the Hydras. And suddenly the wind is taken out of sails of GeoHen and he has to go back home. We almost had something going there, but with those disruptor shots, with those zealots running straight into the army, Rombuzz was able to hold it for now, but look at GeoHen. He's taking even more bases, double expanding once again, triple expanding even. And yeah, he's just taking more and more of the map. Again, once the army moves out, GeoHen is right there to break that wall into the natural base. Going straight in, the Lynx are running straight for the main base. The army of Protoss is coming back to defend, but they can't quite catch it fast enough and probes will be going down. At the same time, the Protoss army is quite scary, so GeoHen has to be careful about facing it, you know, straight on. There's a lot of zealots in that army as well. But lurkers are now finished. Lurkers are out. And it will make it that much more scary for Rombuzz. He is also taking a gold base. There's another batch of Lynx waiting. Okay, we're adding cannons to the mix. That should definitely help with the round buys. But with that many Lynx, I don't even know if that's enough. They are going straight in. They are passing through all these buildings. And they go straight to the main base. I don't know if it's actually a good idea because the probes in main base have not been remade. So they're mostly just pulling Protoss back all the way home for defense. Not really getting the actual damage. Although, you know, taking down some gateways is always nice, you know. Protoss having less production is definitely useful to the Zerg. So many lurkers. How many lurkers do we have? We have 13 lurkers currently. Ooh, the Vipers do get feedback though, so they will not be useful in this fight. But there is still one that does have energy. And GeoHen is preparing for late game. He's getting a Spire. He's getting his Hive upgrades for the lurkers. Lurkers are a bit of a siege unit. They're not that easy to play with, as in like you have to constantly pay attention to their position, so not the most mobile Zerg army, but very strong one definitely. And as all of this is happening, GeoHen is taking even more bases. The Vipers are constantly being feedback, so Rombuzz is on top of that. They are never with energy. I think one of them maybe is able to keep the energy going. Oh, but now the Protoss army goes straight into the lurkers. I don't know if that was a good idea. The disruptor shot is not enough. At the same time, we have more runbacks in the Protoss bases. Probes are going down in the fourth. Probes are going down in the natural. A lot more losses for Rombuzz once again. Yeah, the disruptor shots are not quite able to reach the lurkers, and even when they do, a single disruptor shot is not able to kill a lurker, so have to synchronize that in order to be effective. Another run by going in, but this time Rombuzz is prepared. His army is right there at the wall. And while all of this is happening, Rombuzz is preparing a transition. He is getting a fleet beacon, he is getting stargates. He will be transitioning into Skytoss. We have to keep in mind though that those probe losses are definitely hurting him a lot, because Skytoss is not cheap. So losing all those workers will definitely have its own effect. But speaking of Sky transitions, I mean, so is GeoHen. His Broodlords are getting ready. As we finally snipe some of these lurkers, but now they're not the only danger that is there. One of the disruptors does get pulled. Nice little win there for GeoHen. And now the Zerg is coming close enough to harass this gold base. And the problem is that Rombuzz can't really do much about it. Like, he will be sniping these lurkers slowly but surely, but every time he does so, like, he puts his disruptors in danger. And the Broodlords are becoming a problem, sending the Broodlings his way every time. We even have a Nidus Swarm straight into the main base of Rombuzz. GeoHen really pulling apart. What is this stray Ultra doing here? Ultra, with whom you're lost. Oh no. This one of these bases will be denied, but that also means that Rombuzz doesn't quite have the army to protect all the other bases. This gold is completely... what's the word for it? There's no mining there. The fourth has one probe in the gas. There's no mining there either. The third is still mining, but there are barely any resources left there. Natural, same story, and the main about the same as well. Like, as you know, while Rombuzz has the resources right now, like, he will run out of them quite quickly, while GeoHen has been able to mine quite a lot. So the thing of the matter is Rombuzz has to attack. Rombuzz has to make something happen, because he's the one who cannot really remax that easily. He has the resources right now, right? That's true. Like, he can transition, and I think that's what he is hoping for. But he is losing his base, he's losing his infrastructure. He has to rebuild his pylons to even not be supply blocked. And he is losing a lot of his army as well. So we have two bases. We still have the bank. Rombuzz still has the bank to build this army to potentially transition into Skytoss, but I don't know if he has the time to do so. He's going forward with the ground army. At the same time, the Zealot reinforcements are dealing with another Nidus. We have 8 Ultras on the way. We are switching into Ultras, which is very interesting. I mean, there is no Skytoss yet. I know Ultras are common against Skytoss compositions as well. Like, I mean, not pure Skytoss, obviously, but, you know, they can be useful, but Skytoss is not quite there yet. The ground army is going forward and starting taking bases of GeoHen. GeoHen was not quite, I don't want to say paying attention, but He was a bit too focused on the offense and he's not quite defending his bases too well. I mean, given like his bases are quite spread out as he has taken like this much of the map. But the ultras are now not going down to the disruptors with the upgrades. They able to withstand. Actually, they have upgrades. They do. Okay, so cool. Oh, even a storm on top of these ultras, and a lot of them did go down in the end, but it also did cause some losses to Rombuzz, and he's at 9 workers. 9 workers Protoss. And a lot of those workers are not even mining because there are no resources left. There are no bases left for Rombuzz. He only has those 2 starting ones. And again, GeoHen is also losing bases. It's important to keep in mind. He is losing hatcheries. Rombuzz is making sure to focus those down. But he still has so much more. He still has plan B. He still can go to something else. While there are ultras in the base of Rombuzz. The lurkers are also quite of an issue. We do have observers, so they are visible to the army of Rombuzz, but they're still difficult to deal with. GeoHen is of course expanding even closer to the Protoss. Looks like once again we will have a stand here in the middle. Base of GeoHen will be going down, but keep in mind that basically Rombuzz does not have any economy. Like, he has this natural. That is it. The main is mined out now, and it's constantly being troubled by Swarms. So the natural is the only quote-unquote mining base for Rombuzz. So there's pretty much no reinforcements coming. Like, what you see is what you get. But at the same time, GeoHen is remaking those bases. He is remaking that army. Not too fast either, to be fair, but he has the option to do it. Rombuzz is still dancing with the lurkers, trying to get some down. I mean, he's managing to kill off some, but at the same time he is losing even more in the main base. The main base is now completely under siege from these lurkers. There will be no more army coming from Rombuzz. This is the last army of the Protoss, the last stand here. If he can, I mean, if he can somehow manage to defeat the army of GeoHen, it is being split. I mean, after all, those lurkers are across the map. More Novas coming. Another base of GeoHen is falling down, but at the same time the Protoss army is being rained on by the Broodlords. There are Broodlings all over the place. It's a bit difficult to move with all of those units around, but the storms are there as well. They definitely help. Now Rombuzz is trying to move forward. He will try to deal with all these Broodlords. The lurkers are going down as well. There's not that many of them left here. But there aren't that many buildings of Rombuzz left either. How many structures do we have? Yeah, with that GG has to be called. And GeoHen will be taking down Rombuzz 2-0. So this was really well played by GeoHen. Uh oh, I pressed the wrong button. Ah, panic, 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 panic. Hold on, we can do this. There you go. Yeah, they're very nicely played from GeoHen. Very like late game macro play, late game macro Zerg play there from GeoHen. I mean, Rombuzz was also trying his best. His army was getting some wins. He was getting those lurkers down. He was getting those rulers, but in the end, it was not enough because there was no economy to back this up. He was not able. He was trying to transition into a Skytos, but he was not able to even get there. And in the end, GeoHen will be taking the series, and he is moving on to the finals. Of course, the finals will be coming up next, but before that, we will take a short break. We will give our players a bit of a breather. We will have to make sure that GeoHen does not disconnect. He has to, you know, talk nicely to his router, to his modem, so it does stay connected. And make sure to get some water, get some snacks, and be right here for the finals of Master Swan Open number 83. See you then. And welcome back to Master Swan Open number 83, our monthly amateur tournament for players up to 4.7k MMR, which is Masters. And we are now in the finals. We are about to begin the finals of our monthly tournament, but before we get to that, we have something else in store. We'll make sure that everything is set up, and of course, this is not... There you go. That was from the last tournament, but anyway, we are now ready for our random raffle. As a reminder, all three of our tournaments, Master Swan Open, Ducklings Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup, have a random participant raffle, which means that one of the players, no matter if they are in the finals, no matter if they lost in the first round, one of the finals will be walking out of this tournament's $5 richer. Again, all you have to do to be eligible for this raffle is sign up. Of course, you have to be eligible for the tournament, but you have to sign up. You have to play at least one full series. And, you know, no matter if you win or lose that series, you will be eligible to participate. So, without further ado, let me randomize who the winner for today is. And the winner is, drumroll. I cannot do drumroll. It's Abatur. Okay, so the winner for Master Swan Open number 83 for the random raffle is Abatur. So Abatur, if you are in the chat or if you are listening on, you know, on VOD, make sure to join the Matcherino page to receive your payout. All the payouts are done via Matcherino, so check out that link, and once you do so, you will be able to get your payout. And now with that out of the way, hold on, let me message. Whoever wins the raffle. There you go. Everybody is now knows what's going on. So once again, congratulations to Abatur, and that means that we are ready for our series. This is a best of 5, the grand finals of this month's tournament, and we are about to be ready to begin. Let me double check. Is everybody ready? sure we have the lobby set up. And we are now loading into the first game of our finals, Master Swan Open number 83. And it will be on post-youth. Oh, they didn't change the colors. Oh no, we started to talk about something else and I didn't double check. Well, anyway, we are now on post-youth and we are looking at the top right corner of the map where we have our green Terran player from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And across the map we have our red Zerg player from Philippines representing Anito. It is GeoHen. Yes, as Troshaland is saying in the chat, happy birthday to StarCraft, because today is the day that StarCraft Wings of Liberty was released. StarCraft 2, the first expansion. Or rather, I guess the first part, you should say. I don't think you should call that really expansions, because, you know, it was more like a trilogy. But yes, the StarCraft 2 has been released on this day, at least in America. And it's been how many years now? 14 years? Oh boy. We are all old. Oh boy. But as we literally actually brought up this topic on Dolan's stream yesterday. I want you to keep something in mind. You are looking at a 14-year-old game. This game is 14-year-old. And it looks good. And it feels good to play. And that's amazing actually. Like, I know there will be a lot of people like, but I like my old games and stuff. Like, you know, we have a lot of retro games that people love. And that is true. Oh, prediction. Okay, let me do a prediction. It's still early. It's true that like a lot of retro games are also really good, but I feel like it's very impressive for a game to be like on that level. And like, you know, I don't feel like StarCraft is aging all that much. Like it's like still a good game. Like I'm not talking about like balance. I'm not talking about like, you know, decisions around the game. I'm talking specifically about the gameplay itself. Like the gameplay is just well made. So it's just really nice to see, and hopefully there can be another game that also does this well, but we will see. We will see. Alright, the Reaper of Jaedolph is now going across the map. Keep looking at that overload. It's so visible on the map. Yeah, there are these entrances to the bases, and Jaedolph is able to poke at this natural, but not do any damage. He also is checking on the front, but he doesn't quite check for that third base. I don't know if he has seen it yet. Yeah, oh no, okay, he has seen it. The Reaper did poke at that direction. Let's be careful not to lose it though. Yes, it is getting quite low. Okay, what are the boobies looking at? Ah, oh, of course. Of course they're looking at Nova. Why am I not surprised? Ooh, the Reaper actually gets caught by the Zerglings all the way across the map. That's a bit unfortunate, as looks like Jaedolph wasn't quite paying attention. And we do start, Jaedolph does start with a Viking, which is an interesting choice. Would definitely be nice dealing with all these overlords. Constantly trying to take a look into his bases. Now we have a Hellion squad going across the map as well. There is a Queen there to protect, but it's not quite enough to defend on his own. But it still gets one Hellion. And with all that links out, Jaedolph is not really able to get any damage, and we'll be losing most of those Hellions, if not all of them. Yeah, unfortunate for Jaedolph. Those Hellions did not pay off. I mean, sure, he scouts the base, I guess, but I don't think that was quite enough. GeoHen now working on his lair, as he takes that gold base as well. Zerglings are now coming in, and they will meet with the Marines, but those Marines only have one Medivac, and they're enough to defend, I guess, but yeah, that was quite scary for a moment. Some of them are still getting picked out. And now there are the tanks on the high ground. I mean, this base is not in any danger. But as GeoHen is pressuring Jaedolph on the front of his bases, he's also taking more hatcheries of his own. But Jaedolph now decides to move out. He will be attacking this gold base, and GeoHen is not quite in position. With these Marines, this base can be focused quite easily. The hatchery will be going down. Jaedolph also scans up the high ground to make sure that he is not surprised by a surround from over there. Finding a nice position, but now there are Zerglings for both sides, and ooh, a beautiful Baneling connection over there, and almost all of the Marines die to the Baneling acid. GeoHen tried to re-establish this base, but there are reinforcements from Jaedolph here, and he will have to hold on that idea for a little bit longer at least. Yeah, that's what I mean, like, you know, like, I don't know if you would even say that this is a 14-year-old game, like, it looks solid. And I don't even have the highest graphic setting. But I feel like the more... Okay, we'll talk about it after the game, but... Yeah, Jaedolph once again trying to push into the base of the Zerg, but there is enough Link Bane to deal with it. This tank is left alone and it will be taken down, but... The Liberator does do some damage, but it does kill one queen, I believe. And Jaedolph is relentless. He constantly sends new reinforcements. He's constantly putting pressure on GeoHen, which I always want to say this is the right way to play versus GeoHen, because GeoHen looks like the kind of player, the kind of like macro player who, like, you know, if you give him the time, like, he will get away with a lot of like economical advantage. So with Jaedolph constantly pressuring the Zerg, like, GeoHen just may not be able to get there. Another base does go down. At the same time, there was a link run by in the bases of Jaedolph, and 10 SCVs go down, which is definitely a significant number. I mean, mules are pretty good, but Jaedolph has half of the worker count of GeoHen. There are more Lingwei reinforcements, and the Banings do connect with the army. But there are still some left over. These Marines are very damaged though, so they are very quick to snipe, but it's just enough, and Jaedolph will be taking game number 1 of these finals. But yeah, what I was saying, like StarCraft does look pretty good for a 14-year-old game, but I feel like it's not even about the visual side of it, which is pretty good, but just the mechanics itself. Like, you know, just having that really, I don't know what the word is, just this, but like the control in the game just feels really good, right? Like, obviously there will be people who like, well, I don't want to talk about like arguing and stuff, but like, I'm trying to like explain, but like StarCraft 2 just has a very specific feel where like you have very precise control over your units, over your macro, and it has this very specific feel to the gameplay itself. And it's incredibly difficult to replicate, and it's incredibly impressive that it's holding up so well, like for all these years. That like it's still just so good. Like it's not a gameplay that like gets outdated. Like it still just feels good to play. Anyway, we will be setting for the next map. And be waiting for the choice. As a reminder, this is loser's pick in terms of maps. And we are ready to start our next game. As a reminder, this is a best of 5, so while Jaedolph has a point on the board, this is not a match point yet. And welcome to Site Delta, Ellie. As we are looking at the bottom right corner where we have the first of our players. It is the blue Terran player from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And across the map we have the red Zerg player from Philippines. It's GeoHen. I do wonder what is the origin of GeoHen's name. It's very interesting. But before that, looks like the SCVs took a trip to admire the logo of Master Swan Open. And while at it, they also decided to settle here because this is a very nice neighborhood. Like, look, you have like, this nice beach, you know, the trees, and you have some grass. Like, I mean, it's a very nice neighborhood to settle. So the SCVs decided that this is where they're gonna build their home, and they brought neighbors with them. That is what happened. GeoHen is sending an overlord this way, but it will take a while before it reaches here. Yeah, he does check this pattern because it is a common place for putting down proxies, and it looks like he will be able to scout it soon. Yeah, he scouts the entire 4 racks because we have 4 barracks. And I think this was a hatch first, so yeah, GeoHen just decided, no, you know what, I just have to go. Just have to go. Just sends all the drones to the proxy. I mean, a few of them left, true. But the drones are going to fight. There is the first marine out already though. And the barracks are well protected. GeoHen will try to focus that marine that is already out and at the same time work on the barracks. But with the marines popping out on the other side of the wall, the drones are starting to fall. The other ones, it looks like we're able to snipe that one marine, but yeah, this is very dangerous and the drones have to go back to the base and they are being intercepted by even more marines. GeoHen is in a very difficult situation here. Fortunately for him, Jaedolph will not be able to make any bunkers in this natural base because the creep has already spread. The Zerglings are out, which will definitely help in the defense, but the drones have to be pulled off the line once again, and 7 of them are already dead. The Queen is now joining the fight. We have 2 queens, so the drones are currently quite safe, but this is not over quite yet. There are still more marines coming and we are running out of links. The barracks are constantly producing, like Jaedolph is not backing off from this. We are constantly producing links, but we do not have speed quite yet. In fact, it's not even on the way. Drones once again trying to fight the marines, but man with gun. Man with gun is quite dangerous and quite painful to poor Zerg drones. And there are still more coming. GeoHen is not able to get enough Zerglings this time. He's trying to bank them a little bit, but Jaedolph is just moving forward, and with that GG is called. Jaedolph is now on match point. And with that very decisive game, very cheeky game. I mean, it was very difficult. It was very... Like, even though GeoHen has scouted the proxy, it was still very difficult for him to defend because he did go hatch first, he didn't have any units. He sent his drones. It's really hard for me to read and talk. No, it's complicated. But yeah, it's just very hard to hold when you don't quite have the units out. He sent his drones to try and fight it, but the wall, like the placement of the barracks was just really good because the marines were quite well protected from the drones. And that brought Jaedolph victory. Now we're loading to our third map of this series. And welcome to Alcyone or Alcyone. Both versions have been going around. And we are now looking at the first of our players in the top right corner of Alcyone. It is our blue Terran player from Australia, currently on match point, up 2-0 in this best of 5 series. It is Jaedolph. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the red Zerg player from Philippines. Give him your energy because he needs it. He is currently down 0-2. It is GeoHen. GeoHen of course has shown us a really great games in the earlier series, so I think he's definitely capable of bringing it back to Jaedolph. But we will see if he's able to do that. This time no aggression early on. GeoHen as always starting with his hatch first. Our great logo. Shout out to Shura for making our mascots. This remastered version of the Swan was made by Shura. And so was the Duckling. Shura is also the person who makes most of the emotes that we have on the channel. And there are a few legacy emotes that were also made by other people. But Shura is now our go-to for the art. Jaedolph is sending an SCV scout this time. I believe he did not do that before. I believe he was mostly relying on the Reapers. But this time we do not see a Reaper, we do see a Marine. Third base is not denied for the Zerg. Jaedolph was checking the other third. Oh, sorry, there is a Reaper. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we've seen SCV scouting quite like this before. One of the things does go down, which is nice to Jaedolph, but again, this is not like a huge deal. Queen is getting quite adventurous, really intent on chasing the Reaper. And we have roaches from the side of GeoHen. Burrow roaches? Oh, I think I've seen him do that before, didn't he? I think the last time we casted GeoHen, he also did some burrow roach build, didn't he? The memories, they are there. I mean, Jaedolph does scout it with a Reaper. So Jaedolph should be getting ready for potential. I don't know if it will be an all-in, but it very well may be. is getting a cyclone right now. He is setting up bunkers. Banshee is on the way, which is obviously a great choice versus roaches. And I do think that the Hellions are getting in. The Queen on its own is trying to fend them off, but they are getting the transfer workers. Burrow is about to be finished. Second Queen pops out to deal with the Hellions, but they do get 4 workers. 5. And more. Finally, the Hellions are being dealt with, but now it's time for the roaches. We'll be going across the map, but there is a defense ready. It is getting ready. We have Cyclones on the way. The Banshees are going across the map, and so are the Cyclones actually as well. I don't know if GeoHen has enough. The Burrow Micro definitely helps. Roaches will be able to be protected from the army of Jaedolph for the time being, but there it is. There is a Raven on the way. So Jaedolph is planning to have a constant detection, not just rely on scans. And these roaches are trapped in the middle of the map, but now the army of Jaedolph is actually moving away. And GeoHen is droning. I think he has given up on this attack a little bit. He still will try to see what he can do. He's still moving forward to the other side of the map. Nice little leapfrog of the roaches, but yeah, now with the Raven being out, this roach attack is completely thwarted. Again, GeoHen has realized that a while ago, and he has been working on, you know, building up his economy, on transitioning. He's getting more Zergling, he's getting link speed, because that was skipped for the sake of the roaches. But he has a problem at his hands, as all those Cyclones and Banshees that were made for the defense are now in his bases. The Zerglings will help to deal with them, but they're not quite ready yet. They're only just now popping out. The Raven is also dropping some turrets. The Queens are there to deal with it though, so no drones will be lost. The Cyclone on the other hand, they found the hatchery, but they are actually going down to the Zerglings. The Banshee is quite damaged as well, and there is no cloak for it, I believe, so... Yeah, there is no cloak researched. So the Queens are enough to fend it off. Jaedolph, in the meantime, has taken his third base. And it is being muled. Oh, that's annoying. There's that single scouting Zergling, so GeoHen is well aware of what is going on. If Marauder gets caught in the middle of the map. And we have a Zergling run by straight into the mineral line, but yeah, there's enough forces there to scare it off. I mean, to be fair, the tank would do a lot of damage to the SCVs as well, but yeah, GeoHen decides that maybe this is not worth diving in. Is once again trying to look for a hole in the wall, and they do actually find it. The wall was not completely sealed, but the main base is closed. Some of the Zerglings do remain in the base. The Raven is not home to detect them, and scans are currently being in use. Or the energy for the scans is in use for the mules. So these Zerglings at the very least will be a very nice scout there. And yeah, they were waiting for the right moment, and they get right in. Very sneaky there from GeoHen. We have yet more bases for GeoHen. Jaedolph is a little bit paranoid now about the Zerglings. But no, there are none in the base anymore. We have a bit of a discussion in the chat. Not current affairs. Yeah, there it is. There is a run by on the third base. A lot of SCVs in this base. But Zerglings are not able to take them down. I feel like a bending run by would do better in this specific location. At the same time though, the Terran army is moving out and going towards the north bases of GeoHen. We have Hydras. Lurker is about to be completed. So we will have the Lurker transition. At the same time, once again, the Linkbane is trying to get in, this time with some Hydras for backup as well. And even though they don't get into the mineral line, they are taking the important infrastructure and they're trying to focus the tanks. But GeoHen has to deal with the siege of his own base. The first base of the north has fallen. And the Terran is pushing forward. There is Linkbane, there are some Hydras, but with these tanks and all this bio going around, it is quite difficult to face this. Now the Zerglings are able to surround, they go from the behind, they snipe one of the tanks and slowly but surely they are able to take down most of this army. There is still some Marines left over though and the reinforcing tanks in the back. Now the Linkbane is gone, we have new reinforcements though. The bendings do take care of the bio. So at least the Marines are gone from this army. There are still tanks though, and there we go. There we have the reinforcements from Jaedolph. GeoHen is struggling to keep up in the army numbers. One of the Vipers gets sniped as well. Oh, but we do pull a tank, which is nice. So at least one tank is taken care of. Another force of Zerglings is going across the map. Oh, they denied us a bending line. How sad. But there are tanks there to defend. There is a Liberator as well, which will help. Meanwhile, Jaedolph keeps pushing forward. More tanks are being pulled by those Vipers. This time they are doing much better job. And this army of the Terran is actually getting cleaned up. Now we are working on the Lurkers. The Lurkers will definitely be an important asset here. I mean, the thing is that Jaedolph does have a Raven. I believe he only has one, right? Oh, actually no, the Raven did go down, so we have no mobile detection. We only have those scans. But I think there are more than enough scans actually to deal with the army of the Zerg, but it actually completely outpositions Jaedolph. The Lurkers go for the 4th base, the Zerglings are trying to get into the natural. They meet the reinforcements, but they are not enough to face them. 4th base is completely denied. The army of Jaedolph is, I want to say, stuck in the middle of the map, but that's not really true because it can move. Bio is connecting with the bendings though. And suddenly Jaedolph is not in that comfortable situation anymore. I mean, he still has this siege and yeah, GeoHen takes this game with all the damage done back in the bases of Jaedolph. Jaedolph is not able to continue. So GG to GeoHen. He does bring it back. He puts a point on the board and it will not be a 3-0 finals. Don't forget, of course, to hide your hydras. Okay, looks like GeoHen needs a little bit of time to make sure that all the technical issues are sorted out, so we will be going on a short break, and right after this we will continue our finals. Oh, also for the people waiting for WTA for World Team League, we will also be casting that after this tournament is over, so as soon as we are finished with these finals, Light will be jumping on to cast World Team League, so don't you worry, it will still be covered. It will be a bit later, but it will be covered on our channel, so stay tuned. Be right back. And welcome back. We're able, the internet has been able to be settled. Hopefully everything is working, and we are loading into the 4th map of our finals, and it will be Dynasty. Where in the bottom left corner we have our blue Terran player from Australia, still on match point, currently up 2-1. It is Jaedolph. And in the top right corner we have our red Zerg player from Philippines. It is GeoHen. So GeoHen in the last game was able to put a point on the board. So he definitely is bringing it back to Jaedolph. And we'll see how far he can go. Like, we will see if maybe we can get a tight series, or if Jaedolph is able to close it out. For now, nothing cheeky happening on either side. GeoHen, as usual, going for a hatch first, which is quite typical in ZVT. Jaedolph keeping all his buildings at home. No proxying this time. And we will be going for that SCV scout as well. Let's take this time to appreciate the map a little bit. Although I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at. It looks kind of like a face. Oh. A lot of forests. Some little huts. Are there any movies on the map though? I don't know if they are. Oh, the Reaper has to be careful. It's getting quite a lot of damage. The dance is commencing there. Meanwhile, the Overlord is under fire, but it will find a nice safe spot. And GeoHen is able to expand to his third base, taking that forward third. Meanwhile, Jaedolph focused that mineral line wall and decides to go for the gold. Actually, there's no mineral. Wait. Oh yeah, now I remember. This is why I'm like I have not played on this map a lot, because Zergs hate this. Because this is the map where Zergs cannot take the gold base because every other race can harass them on it. It's the Reaper does scout a lot. I don't know if it saw the Roach Warren, which once again is being put down. Yeah, the Roach Warren has remained hidden. There is no lair yet, so there's nothing to see there. Although I don't know if Jaedolph saw it researching, but he did see that the pool is not researching and that there are workers in the gas, so he can assume that those are roaches. And he will be getting a Blink Banshee. Imagine, Blink Banshee. A Cloak Banshee is on the way, which will help in potential roach defense. The Hellions do encounter roaches on the way, and there are more coming, and they are sneaking right past, going for that gold base. Of course, GeoHen is double checking that the gold is there. Not every man has to have movies. Wrong! Yeah, I'm kidding, but a lot of them do, because it is an inside joke between the map makers, so a lot of them try to squeeze in movies somewhere. It's a thing, okay? See, we had a movie hunt when I was casting SDO. The roaches, again, the Banshee does help defending from the roaches. They do have burrows, so they can heal up while being underground, but yeah, this is quite annoying for Geo, and he is able to completely deny the mining on that base, which is great. It's definitely what he wants, but those roaches have nowhere really to go. Like, they could go for the front base, but there are cyclones there, there are marauders, so yeah, not ideal. And here, I mean, once the mining is denied, like, all they can do is just make sure that the SCVs don't come back. Don't come back, I say. Oh. But with the turrets being present, the burrow is not enough here. And there are more Banshees coming as well. I mean, GeoHen is still doing a good job at denying mining over here. But there's not much else he can do over at the base, and Jaedolph is now taking the natural on the front. At the same time though, because Jaedolph is so busy with the defense, because he's paying attention to the roaches, GeoHen has the time to actually set up his bases. And he does take a gold as well, but he does take it from the other side. GeoHen getting a bit of a scout with that overseer. There are some Zerglings ready on standby for some round buys. We have Hydras on the way as well. Or, I mean, we have the tech for Hydras anyway. And now GeoHen starts expanding. He already got the gold base and he is taking even more, getting up to 5. So be careful about this small terrain force though, because it will be definitely a pain to deal with, but with all this Link Bane, he should be fine. The new base is also under attack by the Banshees, and as a reminder, they are cloak Banshees, so they won't be that easy to deal with. Meanwhile, the other Terran army is being caught by the Zerglings. All the Cyclones will be going down. Great catch for GeoHen. The Queens go for the defense, but there is no detection, and this hatchery is getting low. It's a kill! GeoHen does not notice, and he does not cancel that hatchery in time. The Overseer is now here, and the Banshee will be dealt with, but that was a painful loss for the Zerg player. Still, he is up in bases against the Terran, which is definitely nice. And up to this point, like, other than those Banshees, like, Jaedolph was not able to do much damage to GeoHen's side of the map. So that one Baneling. One Baneling. One Baneling and a dream. As Jaedolph is pushing forward, GeoHen is trying to stick in, but there is a solid wall. And he has to focus on defending because, I mean, this is nothing to sneeze at. Definitely have to be careful about these Zerg siege armies of Zerg Terran. So there is only one tank here to support though, which is not a lot. But still, man with gun is pretty good. So again, GeoHen trying his luck in the middle of the map. Maybe he can catch the reinforcements before they reach the main army. It's a tank instead. And at the same time, he tries to crush the army from the front. Looks like he has just enough over there. The reinforcements are dealing with the army from the back, but now the Zerg is overflowing. We have the Zerglings catching up to the army of Jaedolph, and he is forced to move back as most of his army was cleaned up. Probably not the ideal spot to more some banings. So close. It's a bit close. No, the tank stepped on it. Yes, we'll keep you updated on this banding landmine. Well, the medivacs are being queued straight to the enemy territory and they are going down. This tank will probably be sniped as well. And the reinforcements of Jaedolph are going down, which is quite unfortunate. More banding landmines are being set up. At the same time, this gold base is once again denied as the Hydras are there to harass. That also pulls the army of Jaedolph back. As GeoHen tries to make its escape, and actually he has enough Zerglings to fight this. Space is very wide open, and the Lingbane Hydra army is going straight in. The CC is burning down. I mean, it's safe for now, but it's not being repaired. Okay, we are repairing the CC. Okay. Everybody breathe. The CVs are here. GeoHen taking more bases, and where he can squeeze them in. There is a drop here coming though. At the same time, this gold base is constantly denied. And GeoHen has enough army to actually keep track of the drops of the terrain. We're also working on lurker upgrades. There are no lurkers on the map yet. I don't think so. No, there are no lurkers yet, but we are getting all the upgrades set up for them. GeoHen has his units scattered around everywhere. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. I mean, it was not as impressive as it could be, but hey, it was still a direct hit. Ooh, the Hydras are dealing with the mid-vax and they did catch one of the full ones. Once again, this base of Jaedolph is quite open, so it's very difficult to defend from this Zerg army. And once again, the Lingbane Hydra is rolling in. Jaedolph is trying to set up a position, but he is spread out thin. And that's enough for GeoHen to take this game. GeoHen ties up this series 2-2. Very nicely done. So GG's to GeoHen, and we are going to game number 5. We are actually having a tied up finals all the way till the last game. Both of our players are showing some great games, and this one map will decide who is the victor. As we are setting up for that final game of this month's tournament. As a reminder, right after this there will be World Team League, a catch-up cast of World Team League. Again, it will be a bit delayed as the tournament has started an hour ago, but we will be catching up on the matches nonetheless. It will be, of course, light casting that tournament. If the map doesn't have Moopies, is it even a map? Exactly right. It should be instantly disqualified. What do you mean? No, but that is like an inside joke between the map makers, where like on a lot of the ladder maps, and not ladder maps but just maps in general, they will try to squeeze in the Moopies. Sometimes in a very interesting situations. We have some we have some map makers who love the Moopies, some map makers who absolutely hate them and will put them into weird positions. Positions that sounded so bad. What I meant was I've seen like Moopies at the edge of a volcano. They're like about to fall in and stuff. Like, you know, the opinions on Moopies are divided. As the lobby gods have allowed us to make this lobby. Okay, our players are ready. We are ready. Let's go. Anyway, it's nice to see some Filipinos showing up in the chat. Some people from Philippines cheering for their friend, for their countryman. But anyway, we are now on Ghost River Ellie, and in the top right corner of Ghost River, we have our blue Terran player from Australia. It is Jaedolph. And on the left hand of the map we have our Filipino Zerg player. In the red, it is GeoHen. Okay, chat, since there are people from Philippines in the chat, do you know what is the origin of GeoHen's name? Why is he called GeoHen? Why is the hen Geo? Is it a geological hen? Is that hen like interested in like you know, pretty rocks? But what's the story? We need to know. Anyway, same old. We're getting that hatch first. When Jaedolph starting with a reactor, actually. I'm not saying I don't like Moopies, I'm just saying that every map has to have them. It will lead to overuse and will devalue the Moopies we already have. Moopie inflation is a thing. Thank you, Steven. Yes, thank you for that PSA. You're right, we have to value the Moopies that we have. Wait, what? GeoHen taking the third base. Jaedolph, of course, has an eye on that. He has that scouting SCV. But we are having a very different game this time. As Jaedolph is going pre-reacts. I mean, we did notice that he did go for the reactor. There was no Reaper. And he will be making a lot, and I mean a lot of Marines. 3 racks Marines. GeoHen is going across the map and he sees Marines and he's like, that's a lot of Marines, like where is your Reaper? The answer is there is no Reaper. We are just going full man with gun. And we will see if GeoHen can deal with that. I mean, he has these 3 bases, he has barely any units. Does he recognize what he is about to face? How come you read the PH at the end of Jaedolph, but not the PH at the end of GeoHen? Do you want me to speed on my computer? God damn it, Stick. Is it true the groupies have been expanding and colonizing new worlds and you want to put a stop to that? the chat is getting wild. Yes, we need to discuss the current situation of the movies. What are they doing? Where are they going? What are their plans? But meanwhile, it looks like GeoHen does recognize what is happening as he is getting a Bailing Nest. He's also going around the map with his Zerglings, making sure there are no weird proxies around. And he will probably try to get a nice little run by once this army moves out. There's also a scouting link over there to alert him to once that happens. And he is waiting. The Marines have passed the point. Scouting one more link just to make sure. And no, the wall is up. He was not quite fast enough. Do we have Banelings at home? Not yet. We are morphing some, but they are not ready. There are a lot of queens here, which will definitely help, but Man with Gun is powerful. The Banelings are now waddling in. There is no speed, of course, because Larry is still on the way. And first of the Banelings is sniped, but the Zerglings are getting some damage done on the Marines. There are no medivacs with this, as those were just pure free racks. And honestly, it looks like neither of the players will be able to do any damage. Yeah, like Jaedolph is going back home. The Lynx were not able to achieve anything either, and yeah, it looks like both players will just go back home and reinforce, regroup, and move forward to the next phase of the game. Although that said, I mean, GeoHen has a lot of Link Bane on his hands right now, and it would be a shame not to do something with it, would it? And while Jaedolph is transitioning, he's getting, you know, he's getting his upgrades, he's getting the rest of his infrastructure. He may be a little bit weaker to a strong attack. Chat is having a lot of fun. But yeah, as I said before, it looks like both of our players have calmed down quite a bit. They're proceeding with their builds. GeoHen is getting that bending speed, which will definitely be useful. He's getting his 4th base. Jaedolph is also expanding to his 3rd. And yeah, it looks like both players, you know, try their best to be aggressive, and they're like, you know what? I guess you can defend. And it looks like both of them will just be going back into their solid microwaves. Once again, GeoHen going for Hydra then, so we will be going for Linkbane Hydra. Potentially into Lurkers later on. We also have this Medivac sneaking by, but it goes right over one of the Zerglings, if not multiple. GeoHen has a lot of Zerglings on the map, really making sure that he has all the vision he can. Medivac is trying really to go around the edges of the map, and it may be able to disappear from the radar of GeoHen, but he definitely knows that something is coming his way. At the same time though, we have a push from the front as well. So once again, Jaedolph will try to distract the Zerg. Force the Zerg to defend from multiple locations at once. He has to be careful as there is Linkbane waiting for him here on the south of his army. Yeah, there are medivacs with this, but it's just bio, there are no tanks, no other support. I mean, sorry, there are Widow Mice, but Widow Mice, you know, can be very hit and miss, and now the Zerglings are moving in, but not quite. GeoHen is very careful about how he approaches this. And I mean, he has to be. And the mines have been triggered, and now the link bank can move down as the mines have been dealt with. More reinforcements from Jaedolph are coming in. At the same time, Jaedolph is trying to take another base. And we have more Widow Mines to reinforce as well. This base is being bothered by the two Zerglings, but I don't think they're gonna do too much damage. At the same time, GeoHen is trying his luck on the front, trying to sneak in some Zerglings, but the reinforcements do catch them and, you know, try to fend them off. There are more and more Widow Mines on the battlefield. Now the tanks are joining in as well, which will definitely be helpful. Widow Mines still haven't triggered, and some of them have decent shots, but not a lot of them. Looks like the Widow Mines are not quite able to target in time when those Zerglings are constantly running around. And in the end, I mean, both players exchanged blows, but none of them were game ending. Although I would say GeoHen did lose a lot of the link bane that he had. But a lot of the army of Jaedolph has been cleaned up as well. GeoHen is still trying to get into the bases of Jaedolph, still trying to find a way to run by, which... Well, I'm torn. I'm torn about whether it's a good idea or not. On one hand, like, that's kind of what is winning GeoHen games a lot of times. But on the other, I mean, you have seen that the wall is solid. Like, there's a very little chance that it will be open, so maybe it's not worth just, you know, wasting the units. It's a very hard decision to make. So, I mean, you do have to do something. Davelitoss finds this base on the bottom of the map. The reinforcements are being caught by the Zerg army. The Banings are rolling in, and we have some good connections with the bio. A lot of it is saved by the medibacks, but a good chunk of it does die to the Banings as well. The tank has set up a nice position over here, but it should be dealt with. And once again, GeoHen is preparing for the lurker transition. He is getting those upgrades. The lurkers are only now starting to morph, like there are none on the map yet. But they will be fully upgraded as soon as they can. Nice little position there from Jaedolph on top of all of the ramps. And we desperately need Lingbane right now to deal with this bio army. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of Marauders in this army as well, so that's definitely not easy to deal with. There's barely any factory support though. I don't see tanks, I don't see Widow Mines even. It's just bio army. But GeoHen has mostly Hydras. He has some Zerglings, but they are not working together. Now the Banings are starting to roll in. Maybe we can get some connections, but no, they actually connect with the Marauders. The Terran is pushing forward. Some Banings get some connections from the back. But the front of the army is still going. This hatchery will be going down. This army will be chasing the drones. At the same time, we have reinforcement joining at the north side. And they actually take down a lot of the Zerglings. Now the sandwich comes from as the other army rejoins. There are some lurkers here, which will definitely be nice, but is it enough to clean up this army? I mean, with a scan, this army should be able to deal with this. Yeah, the bio will just focus the lurkers. There's not a lot of them yet. And with that, GG is called. Jaedolph takes the series 3-2 and is the champion of Master Swan Open number 83. Congratulations to Jaedolph. Very nicely played there. He was relentless with his attacks. I mean, a lot of these situations looked very scary, but he was able to, you know, just keep going, keep rushing. He was very committed to his bio army and it paid off. So yeah, very nicely done there for Jaedolph, so congratulations. Let's us quickly look at that bracket. I don't know if it's updated. Okay, I need to update the last game. There you go. Oh, I didn't. There you go. Now it's all good. And yeah, as we can see, both of our players had quite interesting runs on the way here, and in the end, Jaedolph was the one to become the victor of this monthly tournament. As a reminder, again, this is a monthly tournament. Master Swan Open as well as Duckling Open is another monthly tournament. Both of those are amateur tournaments, so if you are an amateur player who also want to try their best and see how it goes, then make sure to check it out. Check it out on our social media, check it out on our Discord. We will be posting signups as soon as they are available. With that, I will quickly just, there you go. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, any of those. If you have them, if you use them, feel free to follow us there and all the information will be posted there. But most importantly, check our Discord, because Discord is the central hub of our information, and also this is where you can ask questions as well. So, you know, that's the best way to contact us, really. We also have a YouTube channel, in case you are watching on Twitch. We also have a YouTube channel where we stream simultaneously now. So if you prefer to watch on YouTube, that is also an option. And if you enjoy these tournaments and if you think they should continue, if you think that you want these tournaments to be bigger and better, then check out the Patreon. Patreon is the way we support tournaments. Like all 3 tournaments that we currently run are like all the prize pool is funded from Patreon. So if you want to see these tournaments grow in the future, then make sure to check out the Patreon. I mean, even follow. If you don't have the change to spare, you can also follow on Patreon as well. That is now an option. You can be a free member. So feel free to check it out. If you are not interested in monetary support, then of course just watching is already a great help for us, you know, getting more eyes on these tournaments, getting more eyes on these players, because there's a lot of good players who come out of this, you know, of these amateur tournaments, of this grassroots tournaments. So keeping an eye on them is definitely nice. And with that, I will not make this too much longer. I am of course Kuro, the co-founder of CranKy Ducklings, and I'm usually behind the scenes, but you can sometimes see me on the channel. Most of the time you can see me in the Discord, but if you want to follow me personally, you can do so at twitch.tv/16squadsanseki, also YouTube at 16squadsanseki. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Meanwhile, we will be getting ready to switch over to World Team League, where Light will take you on a journey to the best Team League currently. Currently the most prestigious Team League that we have. And after that, there's a lot more StarCraft to come. I mean, we have the World Team League, but we also have the Worldy tournament later on, so there will be a lot of StarCraft today, so get ready, get comfortable, get some snacks, and we will be back soon. But for now, that is all. Bye!